buttons. I looked for buttons. What are you doing? That looks like you're gonna break it. What about on here? What about right here?
That's what I was trying to do.
Is that a button?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a thing there.
Yeah.
That looks like headphone control.
And there's this.
Well, whatever you did it right. You're good.
Okay, we're just gonna stick with what we got. It's fine.
Yeah.
Love you, babe. Thank you.
Did you guys go buy some outfits for tonight, or?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I was gonna put my fucking Goku outfit on, and because I got a jujitsu gi that's a fucking Goku gi, but like I was waiting for you and waiting for Drew, and I wanted to test my new fucking fancy gizmo that I bought. That's a fucking turd.
Makes sense. What'd you buy? Enlighten
New
us.
fucking headset. This is Nathan's headset. I used it last week because the white one had like an intermittent. One side would work and not work, and I was like, "Fuck this thing! It's bothering me." And so then I borrowed Nathan's, and I was like, "These are awesome." And so I bought some really similar ones that are right here, and they don't have any buttons. So fuck that shit, and we'll have to do a test run of those shits working another day. Anyway, so
Yeah.
it's crack-a-lackin', gentlemen.
Well, now my headphones aren't working, so now I'm trying to get mine to work.
Are you fucking serious?
Oh my god! Come on, baby. Bluetooth active.
Oh, you got that wireless bullshit going on.
Oh my god! Why is it not connecting?
Are you fucking kidding me right now? Your battery's dead.
Nah, dude.
Battery's dead.
I charged it. There we go.
I mean, I can hear you.
Oh, now I can do. That's perfect. Hell yeah.
What did you do? Nothing?
Well, no, now I can hear you on my headphones and not my computer.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
yeah.
So we got a shitload of good fail pictures, huh? For this week.
We got some good ones. It really looks
Man,
like he's
people
coming
going
from-
hard with the janky this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I even had a couple of them from right there in my shop this week. So
Yeah. Why don't we just jump right into your fail at the shop? I'll play the video for people.
yeah, maybe start with the still picture so we can talk a little bit about it, and then I'll show the video, or then show the video.
Make sure I'm pulling the right one. There it is. Oh man, no, dude. When I messaged you yesterday and you sent those fails pics, I was about to download them and send them to the group, but you beat me to it. We were looking at the same post.
Oh, which ones are you talking about? The ones that I sent you from my shop?
I'm gonna post the ones you sent me from your shop.
Yes.
But the ones you sent me a couple hours later.
Yeah.
I was literally gonna send them at the exact same time. And then
I see.
No.
Yep. Okay.
No. I guess they get around. There we go. Yeah. So
Yes. Okay, and so my customer came in and he kind of told me, he was like, "Hey, I got my amp in there and it works. It's kind of funky. Go ahead and fix that shit. I did it super late at night and I just really wanted it to be mounted to something." And
this is what he's telling you.
yeah, and I was like, okay, no problem, and I like peeked my head under it and I didn't see the vampire stakes. I was like, okay. I was like, he's got it mounted to something, but those are just chilling there. So like, we like picked it up and just in case you want to stab a vampire in the heart, it's ready to go. So it was pretty funny, but
he wasn't sure where he wanted to put it. He was on the fence about it.
Yeah. It's a really small
100%.
fence though, dude.
So that's an amp? That thing's tiny.
Yeah, it's a little tiny 2-channel audio control. I actually am going to install one of that model amplifier in my personal F-150 because I will need 10 channels of amplification to be full active with the current setup of speakers that I have in my F-150. So, but that's a really cool little amp. Super handy and very small, and you can kind of hide that little sucker. I'll probably run my tweeters with it.
What was going on with it when he brought it in? When he said,
he brought it in because we had a box for him, and we added his sub amp. So we did his, zero gauge wire, installed an alternator, did, his big 3 wiring and, like,
all that stuff.
yeah. So he'd done a pretty nice job of installing his 6.5s and tweeter. And then I think he wanted it to play really bad. So he kind of did the like, here's my little 2-channel, and threw that in there real quick and cruised around with the vampire stakes for a little while until he brought it into us. So, but yeah.
Cool.
But yeah,
What'd
you
you guys
can do
do
the
to fix
video
it?
now, and you'll get a little shot of the fancy box that we built for him. So.
Okay. I didn't know that. I guess I didn't watch the video all the way through. It's my bad. Get some sound going. Can you see the video, or do I got to re? Yeah, it's there. Okay, good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Check this shit out. This shit is in my install bay right now. Like, we got them fucking just stacking up today. This is
Oh,
the
yeah,
box
yeah.
we actually built.
Okay,
It's
did see
kind of
that.
dope. 2 6.5 and downfire. But yeah, that's the install. Can you move that around for us, Tyson? Show the there it
this
is.
doesn't move.
It's a fucking catamaran. Sick as fuck. The
Just in
catamaran
case he
mounting
goes
system.
in the water.
They taught that at school, in the installation school.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Check this shit out. This shit is
That box looks kind of dope, dude. What? Tell us a little
pretty
bit about
cool.
that.
It's all stack fab. The port assembly follows that top assembly and loads out the front of the enclosure, and the subs fire down, and they're kind of in a staggered stack so that they can have space to, loading space. The way that the floor and the back wall of those Toyota trucks are shaped super funky. So, and then we made some steel straps that mounted the box down to the seatbelt bolts and then fastened through the bottom of the truck into the box as well. So the box is super solid, and it absolutely hammers, and the customer's super duper happy. It's got killer bandwidth. It sounds beautiful. I'm like, I'm really
What
pleased
subs?
how well that turned out. So
Does it have your subs in it?
2 Gately Audio Relentless 6.5s run off of a Sundown. Is it the SFB 2000? The little inexpensive full bridge
Yep.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SFB and the SIAs. So the SIAs are the new ones to take
I
place
see.
of the
Yeah.
SFBs, but
Yeah.
I actually got three
We've
of those.
installed probably a dozen of those, and we have never had any form of a problem at all with them. So it's kind of one of those weird things. When you don't do a shit install, they seem to work really well. So
Yeah, those amps were a little temperamental when you played them outside of their suggested range. And most of our people play everything out of their suggested range. So, yeah, you wire them too low and you don't give them the amperage or voltage they need, and they go up in smoke.
I don't know what people expect. You're paying a couple $100 for an 8K, and you can't
Exactly,
use it like
dude.
you can a Korean half bridge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I got 3500s for my mids and high, just for the cans on the roof.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they're like this big, dude. And
Right.
like Drew said,
And
they
that
cost like
2K
nothing.
That 2K was like much narrower than it
Yeah.
is long. I'm like, this is fucking weird. It was like, but
Yeah.
and it was super pounded. I mean, we were like really, really happy with that thing. So, but yeah.
Okay.
I guess we're on the fails. We got some other cool images. You want to share some of those other ones that we found online and stuff, or talk a
Yeah,
little bit
there's
about the road?
yeah, for sure. This one's been floating around Facebook just the last couple days. So some of our
While
viewers,
Steve's bringing that up, you
Well,
guys that are watching, if you find you stumble across any good fails, you see one you're working on, or you made one of your own, shoot us pictures and videos. They're always super fun for the show. Everybody smiles when they're looking at a good old car audio fail. Whoo!
so this is the first picture, which is, I mean, it's bad, but I think the next picture is the one that makes you want to throw up in your mouth. So, I mean, yeah, I've seen deck installs like that.
Yeah, that's industry standard right there.
Yeah, I mean, there's
That's normal
100,000
shit.
wires.
I mean, that's
dude. It
just
just
how
is
they
what
do it,
is.
man. I mean,
So, yeah.
like,
Let's see. It was this. Yeah, this is the main picture. Like, I don't even really understand what the fuck is going on here.
that looks
I think
like
It's like an alarm, right? I mean,
that looks like
Yeah, it's an alarm.
at least 2 alarm. No, there's
dude,
at
there's
least
one brain, two
3
brains,
alarm
three
brains.
brains, 4 brains. There's 4 brains. What is all this for?
Nice. I've seen this. I had probably about a year ago. We should have taken photos. Colt was working on a customer's vehicle, and you know it was one of these things that has the metal bullshit, one of the like an avalanche or something, and he started taking it apart to run RCA cables and was like, "There is 4 alarms in here, and none of them work."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Did you touch them?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Can you take them out?" And we were doing a whole install in the vehicle. I'm just like, "Just take them all out. Just take them all out." He's just like, extracted them all, put it all back to. It's like, yeah, it was like a big ass
Yeah.
pile of them on the floor. We definitely should have taken photos, but I didn't have a podcast then, and I didn't think about it, and they were already all out. But yeah,
Yeah, this is definitely some crazy shit.
wow, what is this over here on the? I'm like pointing at the
This-
screen. What is that right there that your little arrow is on top of? Is that another alarm brain, or is that some kind of audio interface?
I don't know. I mean, this is one. I'm counting, right?
Is
This
that
is
an alarm
2.
brain? What the fuck is that?
This is 3. And then there's this thing here. I don't know what that is.
Those are all alarm brains,
So,
except for the one on the far bottom left, the first one that you were pointing at. That's not an
it
alarm.
looks like a line out converter, possibly. There's some
Maybe
knobs.
a fucking
I know you
wave
can
A
tech.
line
Yeah,
out converter with a bass knob, right? Like a 3.5.
Could be. Aux
3.5
cord,
jack bass knob or something, or an aux input. Aux input.
aux input.
That's probably a
C
wave tech,
converter.
and I think that thing has an aux input.
Fucking
That's
crazy.
I
And then
mean,
I'm
even the
pretty
way
sure
that
this
that
is the
thing on its own is wired is pretty fucky. That's some
stock
wild
amplifier right here, I
shit going
think.
on there.
Oh, Bose.
Imagine being the guy that's like putting the third alarm in there. You're all fuck it.
Right?
You're
I
like,
mean,
there's already another
Why
one in there.
not?
Like, you're like, oh, I don't want to extract those motherfuckers. Like, nah, I didn't get paid for that shit, man.
I don't know. Oh, remote start.
You
You know,
hurt
that
the
could
guy's
be
feelings,
right.
Brandon Moore.
Yeah, one of them could be a remote start for sure. Oh, here we go.
Brandon Moore, how did you hurt the guy's feelings?
I believe I hurt that guy's feelings today. Oh shit.
Tell
So
us
Brandon
more.
must have been the one that made the post.
What did he say? Like, fucking, hey guys, I can't figure out what's wrong with my alarm. It's like,
So I just installed
I
another
can
one.
start naming shit right now, buddy. There's a lot.
No, that was someone posted that they fixed it. I think.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
don't remember who though.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's wild
And
though.
they just wrap that all in Tessa tape. That's like the industry standard as well right now. There's just like fucking 7 rolls of Tessa tape.
The more OEM it looks, the better.
Oh my God.
I got a bunch of tests.
I can't even fucking stand it. I mean, there's a really nice high-end shop, did a bunch of really nice work on Byron's truck. And when we brought it in, I was like, Jesus, I'm trying to make some simple changes to this so that we can add an amp and move his amplifiers. And it was like, we had to like unwrap like 4 or 5 rolls worth of Tessa tape off of all the wires. And I was like, I know guys are thinking this is a good idea because I don't fucking know. Somebody posted a picture of it and they were like, dude, that looks hella clean. And it's like, no, it doesn't. It looks like a bunch of sticky shit. And if I have to work on it, it's going to be a
You'll be
fucking
mad.
problem. Maybe if you had, like a little loop every fucking, 6 or 12 inches. And I don't know, like the guys that have a zip tie every fucking 1.25 inches. I'm not a fan of that shit either.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
I mean,
if that fucking works, that's legit.
it's a washer, right? I mean, I think Drew, you sent these ones. There's actually a pretty good stack of fails right here, but
I sent the
Yeah,
one of the thing hanging on the Jeep door.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
part of it. And
Oh, is it? Oh,
amplifiers in
I
the
didn't even
seat.
pay
Yeah,
attention,
This
apparently.
was the first one in the whole.
No, I think I sent this one. I sent a little group, and then he sent a little group. We were
Okay.
all doing our job on the fails this week.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's running kicker. I'm pretty sure, and he's drinking Budweiser. So I don't really hate this guy. I kind of like him.
Like, is it really a fail?
I mean, I don't
Exactly.
hate you if you do a car audio fail. I don't hate you if you do a car audio fail. I've got plenty of them, man. I'll fucking
Actually-
tell you guys stories all day about shit that I fucked up. But
I'm pretty sure I have this speaker in my garage right now.
What is it?
It's a 6x9 kicker. I'm almost positive. That could. I mean, that's the same boot. I'm pretty sure it says kicker right under that label.
what do you think that white? Do you think that white label is like he got that at a fucking pawn shop or something. Like,
Oh no, it's got a
Yeah.
barcode on it.
yeah, a little barcode thing.
Yeah,
Like,
100%,
somebody should have
100%.
that. I mean, he didn't get that at a flea market. I don't know. Anyway,
There's this
I
beauty.
got some good ones off of Car Audio Fail.
Dude. I mean,
Dude, it's got a grill. Is that a
yeah,
what is that? Oh, that's the factory speaker plug. And he
Oh, that's-
modified the factory speaker, but I went ahead and put it on the
That's a
outside
factory
of the
tweeter.
door 'cause the motor was too big and it hit the window, I bet.
I don't
Hell,
really
that looks
understand
like a
what-
factory speaker behind that.
Maybe he wasn't getting the sound he wanted out of the. It was like a piece of plastic with a couple slits in it, just like the.
He's like, that's not
I'll
gonna
tell
work.
you.
He's like,
I'll tell
that's,
you, man,
that's blocking my
um,
sound.
Yeah.
when I was learning to tune DSPs, I had the door panels off of my Subaru Forester, and I had like super duper sound deadened inside and out, like every bit of as sound deadened as a door could possibly be. And I had my little Memphis fucking comp series components, and I just had the door panels off, and I was like, oh, and I'm gonna put the mic in here and do, and I fucking tuned that thing perfectly flat, and I mean it was fucking perfect flat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I put those door panels on, and that shit was like as fucked up as it could be. Like I'm like, oh shit. Well, I mean, I mean, I don't even know
Yeah.
how to tell you. Like it was as fucking off as it could possibly be. Everything was different. I went back to like, okay, let's take all of my tune out, and then tuned it all again.
What was it? The door panels, like I'm talking about, like hard
Yeah.
plastic with just a couple
Well,
of
no, it wasn't
slits.
slits.
Like,
It was the perforated, but
okay.
it was like it
Yeah.
normally was a 5 1/4, and like it had like a circle, and the grill was like grill in like a rectangle, kind of like a parallelogram shape, but only around where the cone of a 5 1/4 would be was
Okay.
perforated, and it was perforated plastic, and it's like an 1/8 of an inch thick, and I'm like, I'm thinking I'm at more than a 50% loss of space here for this mid. And then when you really crank it up and get it going, when I had the crossover set down to like 55 hertz, because it sounded fucking awesome that way, when I didn't have door panels on, I could see the fucking door panel resonating, but not the whole panel, just at the little plastic grill bullshit. Me and Drew talked about this a whole bunch, and it was like, and I just had to keep raising the crossover until that wasn't a super obvious thing that was causing a problem. I ended up at like 90 hertz, and I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, I need to
Yeah, I
get
never really actually thought about that, but
behind
I
this
mean,
shit, man. But
makes
yeah,
total sense. This one's freaking awesome, man. I mean,
it'll keep your butt warm, lighting, custom.
those are expensive
upholstery.
amps too, dude. Those are Focal amps. They're not like
Oh,
I don't
those
know
are
what
the
the hell.
Focal. I thought, yeah.
that they were the Fosgates.
Somebody was.
Can't have
I
nothing
could, at a
nice.
glance, I thought they were the old JL Slash or like some flea market version of it. I didn't look and see the little squiggly jizz mark of the Focal thing. So, yeah, somebody was like, I'm going to fucking flush these into the seat, bro. They were so fucking proud. They're like, yeah, I got $3,000 worth of amps, dude. I mean, it's like, and I'm going to backlight them. I bet somebody
Bro,
paid
I want
somebody
heated seats,
money
but I
for
ran
that.
out of money, bro.
Dude,
Nah.
I mean,
No, I don't
it's
think
a
so.
cool
They finished
idea.
that shit. Look at that. They like kind of redid the upholstery, it looks like a little bit. Like they didn't just leave it all the way hacked. It looks like they tried to tuck it back and hog ring it or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's a lot. I mean, that's a super fail right there. Really. That's
it's
it's
yeah,
one thing. It's one thing to show like the multiple layers of hack job alarm installs and just some like the first guy was like, I'm installing an alarm. I don't know what I'm doing. And he did a shitty job. And then the next guy does the next alarm and he's like, ooh, I'm not fucking with that one. And then the next guy was like, oh boy. And then somebody else was in there like, I'm installing a Wave Tech. Fuck you. And he just tucked it in there. But this is like, somebody was like, bro, check this shit out. Woo, I fucking did it. I'm going to take a picture of it.
It's clean, they can't see any wires. So
Yeah.
Clean
Uh,
for it.
what vehicle is that? You guys have any idea?
I tried guessing, but I mean,
I'm thinking like
I'm pretty
PT
sure these amps are
Cruiser
worth
or
more
a
than the
Honda
car.
Element or something. What do you think?
I got
Dude,
no
there's
idea.
no leg room. It's some sort of tiny fucking car, that's for sure. Cheap cloth interior. I don't know. It was a good one though. Whew, let's see. And this one, well, no. This
Hey,
is
Facebook user that just said now I'm on the right page, correct? No, it still says Facebook user. You got to go to the Quietly Loud Facebook page and click the link there, and that will give us your correct name. So there's that.
or you can watch on YouTube and it'll show for
Or
sure.
you could do it on YouTube and it'll show us.
Yeah, here's I think you sent this one too, Bobby. I think this is the last one of your group, which is just another beautiful rat's nest.
Yeah, I got on Car Audio Fails when I couldn't sleep the other night and just scrolled until I found ones that I like. It was ones that really left me dumbfounded. Like I couldn't figure out the fuck I was looking at. One of my favorite ones of this is the wild ass multicolor single wire RCA cables.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
then
an audio
and then
video
if
cable.
you like zoom in on the
This middle section?
no, a little left of where that is, right at the RCA cables. Are there crimp connections on the RCA cables right there? Right
Well,
there.
I can't zoom in any further.
Oh,
But let me see.
it sure looks like there's some crimp. I was like, the fuck is that? I was like, ooh, I'm
Oh, I
gonna
guess
share that with the
I can
guys.
zoom in.
That's my
far.
favorite part. Also, the rat's nest on the opposite side upper corner.
Here, hang on
There's a
one
lot
second.
of I don't understand what's going on there. I think there might even be some crimps up there in that corner. But anyway, yeah.
Hang on. I was able to zoom in. Let me get here. There we are. Okay.
Yeah, that right there looks like crimps on the RCAs.
Yeah, that I think you're right. And I'm pretty sure these are like back in the day when your PlayStation, your Nintendo used to come with the
Little colored RCAs.
the audio video cables. Like this guy
Mhm.
literally just dug in his garage and found anything that was an RCA
And then like crimped them all together
and just plugged them in.
I never
I wanna
seen a
know-
fucking neon green RCA cable like that.
What
Look
is
at that.
this? What is this? That like intrigues me because I don't really know what's going on there.
Kind of looks like a splitter or something.
But it's not splitting anything. It's like
They're just all like going into. I don't know if this is part of it. It's like 4 outs. I don't know.
and there's nothing. And then it looks like there might be some wires twisted to it and leading up to where those crimps are. You see that on the output
Down
side
here?
of that?
Over here? I don't even know.
No,
which one's
on the
output side.
opposite, right there. See that? That looks like a wire leading up to that crimp connection point that we pointed out earlier.
Wow.
That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, this is. Oh my god! I'm sure you guys see, or I don't know, Drew, but Bob, you probably see shit like this all the time coming through. Maybe not your shop, but shops in the area and stuff.
I mean, like we've seen some wild shit, but I gotta be better at snapping photos. I've gotten some good ones. I think I shared with you guys the one, was it last week or the week before, where the local installer had the like 4 tech screws just right through the ground wire into the body of the truck, going into like a Soundstream triple X, 5K or something like that. That was his ground for it. But anyway,
So this one Drew shared. I'm going to start at the final product or whatever you want to call it. The
That's
end,
mint, dude.
This,
Look, we
this is
worked
what
hard on
this
that.
is how it turned out.
We worked
You
hard on
didn't do
that.
this. Oh, you better not have done this shit. Okay, so yeah, it looks, whatever. You got a floating sub box, kind of cool, right? Yeah, I guess it's cool. And then this is how they put it through to connect to the.
oh yeah, the sockets.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, but I freaking lost it.
Somebody was like, they hella stole those 3 sockets out of their dad's set. They're like, why don't I have a fucking 12, 13, and 14 anymore?
Yeah.
Little
See,
motherfuckers.
That's
All
a
right.
3
Okay, it's
13
a 9
16ths right there.
Yeah.
And then this is pretty awesome. That they tried to weld studs I guess, to this skin.
You know, so what I like to think about when I see shit like this is like imagine he's selling it to the customer. Oh, we're just gonna weld some studs on. It's you know, and we're gonna do the thing, and we're just gonna weld these studs on. It's easy. It's no problem. And then we're gonna put the box, and it's gonna be on the door.
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah.
No, it's gonna be fine.
No prep work. It'll be good, dude.
It's good. Don't worry about it.
I mean, those are
The
good
inside of the
welds.
box is pretty gnarly because they didn't like map the holes first. I remember this now.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's up with the? What if they used like the stock Vetical foamy wire or something?
I don't know, dude.
Right?
I don't know.
You know, you've seen back in the day, like some wire out of some 80s Vetical and it's wrapped in foam so that the wire's not fucking tapping on the metal.
Yeah.
By the way, they need to do that shit in my Sprinter van. I got a brand new fucking Sprinter van, and there was a fucking wire in the back pillar assembly for my taillights. And I was going down the road, and just this certain part of this road that I, you know, down Auburn Boulevard, and I can hear this fucking tat, 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 and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I like pull over and I go and I'm like, maybe this back door isn't closed. And I go and I open the door and I close it and I hear the little tap come from the pillar and I'm like, open the door, close it, little tap, reach in, grab the wires. Ta, 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 ta. I'm like, motherfucker. I was like, why don't they make the foamy shit on these wires anymore?
Yeah. Especially in a benzo. That's
Yeah, what the fuck? But when I brought it in for service, I was like, this wire does this while I'm driving. And the guy was like, we'll fix that shit. They did. So,
Daryl, we can
Daryl
see your
Brooks, we
comments.
got you.
I don't know if you were the Facebook user, but we can see you now. So.
There was another one that was that also Michael Moore went to YouTube. Look at that. Everybody's got their name on there. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are the fucking best.
No, not this guy.
God damn it. You ruined everything, Facebook user.
Oh, man.
So, Facebook user that said, fellas, sup.
Yeah.
Jump over to our Quietly Loud
Facebook page
or YouTube and follow the show there, and it'll say what your name is, unless you're trying to be incognito. But either way, it's good. So
I think Drew's taking a bite of his sandwich. Nope.
no sandwich.
normally he blinks out and then he like comes back and he's still chewing. Oh,
Yeah, I love it.
no.
Drew, so I don't know if I could pry it all, but you seem maybe a little upset or
I'll send you
something.
screenshots of why I'm upset later.
Okay.
I kind of told Bobby about it, but some people might have seen some of it. I posted a part of one of the messages I got, and it's a lot. It's just been irritating me all week.
All right, we'll leave it there then, I guess.
Awkward.
Yeah, but
did you see that pile of speakers I got in today?
Fuck yeah, they look beautiful too.
Well, I've been getting piles of speakers in for anyone watching who thinks I have money. I don't. I haven't paid for any of that so far, so none, zero. I mean, I might have to send it back, or I might steal it. I don't know. We'll find out what happens.
You better have money. You got me thinking about building you some pillars and some doors, bitch.
You need to. No,
dude, that one video you posted, it was a Dayton audio sub. Is that what that was?
Yeah, that's
a little 5.5.
Yeah, that's the epic 5.5.
It looks pretty fucking cool. I really want to know how much smaller than a 6.5 it is. You know,
an inch.
I have a 6.5 inch sub. I tell you what, that Dayton will outperform basically any 6.5 I have here. I know that for a fact, just by playing it. But like all those speakers are part of the hi-fi thing that I'm building, the bookshelf project. It's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah. But all the stereo integrity stuff, that's Bobby told me not to mail him all of them, so I can't.
No, one of each.
Oh, nice. So you went with the stereo integrity stuff, and you're gonna do the big doors, but with the high end shit. I like that.
Well, no. So the stereo integrity is actually going in the Tahoe. They're going to replace the 4 Sundown SA tweeters that are in there now. I'm going to do 4 3s and 4 tweeters per pillar.
Okay.
and then sealed doors like in the Raiden.
It's still those are big doors. They're not SQ
Mhm.
doors. I mean, they're gonna sound good, but it's not a
Mhm.
3-way. It's like a 12-way.
I think we should
Set up for
do like some kind of shallow-ish mounting depth, large cone driver, single driver. Drew,
Who?
in your doors.
If
Well, in the Tahoe, no, Tahoe will stuff a bunch of shit in there. It doesn't matter. In your Duramax,
that'd be cool to try.
we do like a single 10-inch in a sealed box,
Go for some serious mid bass.
or like, I mean, I don't know what the SQ guys are saying these days about like a T line, but a really well built T line is super accurate and not significant group delay and all the scary things that the SQ guys freak out about. But imagine a T line in each door. This has been something I've been talking about for like fucking 8 years. I'm like, what's the right build to have a fucking T line in a front door?
With like a 10-inch mid bass
Yeah.
or actual sub. It's like shout out
Well,
sub.
I mean, you use a badass mid bass and it'll.
How about you
I
do
mean, they
this?
basically don't
Sub.
You do T line in the doors for
Yeah.
mid bass speakers.
Yeah.
You do a T line center console.
No, you do a sealed center console thing.
No, just T line every enclosure you could possibly.
even the
do.
tweeter.
Even the tweeter.
Line the tweeter. Perfect.
Yeah, and the build will just be called T line. Be sick.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No, I actually modeled those little Dayton subs in a T line because I was thinking about doing a transmission line, and then it just did not work. I was like, oh well, hell. So I don't know what. No, it did not look good. Tried a horn ref, and I was like, let me see what when ISD says. Even though it doesn't do T lines, I'm like, let me just see what it says. I'm like, oh, it says ported. Okay, ported box it is.
Fucking ported box. Just add like horn, like significant flanged horn to each end of the port to make it really. A lot of times, a small speaker in like a right in your fucking face kind of scenario, like almost no matter what you do, you're either going to unload or make port noise.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Bobby.
So if you put lots of taper on the front and back end of it, just add that to it. You know what I mean? You make the box bigger to accommodate for that and make it really fucking smooth. Yeah.
Well, I got the revision 1. That's what I sent this morning. I got my guy going to throw together just one of those. He was like, you want to pair? I'm like, no. I'm like, let's just do one at a time from now on. Because if it sucks, I don't need 2 boxes that suck.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to post this comment. Something Drew and I probably both can answer, but it's on 7X is, you think a 9.0, I don't really know what that is, a 9.0 cubed would be enough for 2 of the 15s.
Like 9 cubes net, yeah. That'd probably
okay.
Oh yeah,
I thought he was asking about power.
How did he do the little 3 right there? That's what I want to fucking know. That was cool.
So on a keyboard, like a keyboard with a 10 key, it's Alt 0179. And then an Android phone, you can press and hold 3, and it'll pop up.
4.5 cubes. This is on a ported enclosure, I'm guessing. I do have some parameters off the top of my head. I'm guessing that's probably about right. You may have to go slightly bigger if you're looking for the lows, because 15 is basically an 18.
Yeah, so I mean,
and then the super duper excursion, it's going to appreciate some volume. But how much power is he running is the question.
Exactly. If you have a ton of power, you can go maybe smaller, but
yeah.
So I have some. I don't know how much. I have some information about the subs, and like the 15 is it's like dead in the middle between a round 15 and around 18, effective cone area wise.
Okay,
it's like smack in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I know what I heard them in was sealed enclosures, and it was in 2 cubes, and that's what I based my 4th order off of, was just 2 cubes. But yeah, ported, I think that's probably pretty close. It's gonna definitely be power dependent. You're gonna have to screw around with that. I'd build big and shrink if you can.
2 cubes for you have 15s, right?
Yeah. Yep, because I'm gonna have so much power eventually that they might be on the small side, but it should be fine.
No, I think it's fine. I mean, No,
No,
I mean,
you're gonna shrink that shit.
yeah, you're gonna shrink it.
Or
Mine
you're
are
gonna take one of them out and you're gonna put a big fucking square port in the middle, in the back middle of that thing, and it's gonna be a 6th, and it's gonna be a
No
wind
way.
hammer.
If it's going to be Windhammer already, but if it's going to be 6, it'll be 9. It'll be just 6 with 3 ports in the back there. I think. I don't think I can put a big enough port to have 8 15s.
Oh yeah,
It's just not big enough.
Fuck
I mean, the ported
Plenty.
section itself is not big
Fucking
enough for
plenty.
8 subs.
no,
YOLO, bro.
no.
Yes, I mean,
How do you
No,
think all
it'd
the
be like
windy
one of
guys get
those
windy?
wild ass leaky 4th order,
Yeah.
band 6th orders.
Yeah, I
that
mean, all
that
the windy
fucking
guys just
Dimley
shove in shit
style.
until it gets windy. They don't actually. It's not actually
Yeah.
working
I
properly.
mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but it
gonna
still
be pretty
works
windy.
properly.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like
I mean, it's
look at
windy, but
Yeah.
why does your 97 15s only do a 133? I mean, that's cool that you can do a 133 mile an hour in the window, I guess, but
I don't know, man. I mean, I love 4th orders. I've heard a lot of 6. I've never really built a 6. Well, I built one 6th order, but
well, you're
not like a huge one.
when you would damage a sub or lose amps, you would in the previous version of the build, you'd
Yeah.
pull the 2 subs and put the little ports in. That was pretty badass. And those were little ass ports for that.
There are 2 6-inch
Sixes.
ports, 2
Yeah.
6s. Yeah. 4 15s with 2 6-inch ports in the back in it.
So if you had
It was
8
almost
15s with a fucking 14-inch square port in the back. You have
Yeah.
plenty.
right.
I
I'm
mean,
just
it's
worried
fucking
about not
around,
having
but it'll be
enough.
fun.
But like the volume of the ported section is small though. Oh, what are you
Here's
drinking?
my lovely wife.
She's
She's the best.
got a cape
I love
on.
her.
Superhero. Yeah. Yeah, it was almost just as loud with the 415s as it was with the 6, which was kind of crazy. I remember I gave Steve Mead a demo and I kept smoking the coils, like they kept pouring smoke out of the ports. But it would just
they'll be
cool
fine.
down and 10 minutes later just keep beating on it. So that's that.
Did you
5.
guys see that video I posted? I don't know, about a month ago now. My buddy Brad in his Mercedes with the 3 Trinity 12s, and the backstory to it is he was playing around with shit in his DSP because he read somewhere that it would be a good idea to up the voltage to his amplifier, and it was a sound digital, and he like switched the little dips around in his 810 audio control and was making it do 10 volts out, and it mucked up the signal super bad. And so he was giving my uncle a demo, and he smoked the shit out of the coils of his Trinity subs. It looked like he was cooking fucking hamburgers in that thing. There's just smoke billowing out of the Mercedes. My uncle gets out. He's like, oh my God, I'm fucking dying. He like runs off. He like goes and changes clothes. He's like, I got a headache. He's like drinking water, taking aspirin. He's like, oh my God, I can't get the smell out of my nose. Brad's like, I got a headache too. And it's like, shit.
Yeah.
Brad gets in the car like a half an hour later. He's going home, turns it on, fires up the beat. It keeps playing. Everything's it's like, dude, that was wild. But anyway, he fixed his adjustment that he made, and everything went back to normal. But those Trinity subs are like still functioning in like perfect working order. It's pretty wild. So
It's just glue, bro. It's just burning the glue off.
That's all it was some excess adhesive.
extra, yes.
Extra. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to burn that shit off a little bit. So you muck up the signal, you clip real bad, just fucking cook them up a little bit.
That's all. That's all Sundown smell is, just extra glue forever. That's all it is. It's fine.
Extra glue forever.
Mm-hmm. You ever put any of the Rage 12s in a 6 order? Random question, I know, but
The regular Rage 12 I have not.
I got a guy who wants 2 and he wanted to do 3, but he's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do 3. I got 2 already. I was like, well, shit, we can do 2.
There was a kid at Slam that had 6 of the regular Rage 12s in a pretty wild 6th order. And
Are
I
the
think
Rage
running it on a
are those-
fucking 5K.
are those B2 subs or those?
Yeah, those are the
Oh,
B2
okay.
Rage 12s.
Yeah.
Great woofers. They're like a 1500 watt RMS. Really nice 12. I've had great results using them, but but holy shit, man. That little thing just on, the sub. I mean, it was 6 subs in a wall build, but it was like a smart 5K or whatever teraamps.
Yeah.
And it was super windy, and it was very impressive. I loved that build. I got a good video that I should share it at some point. But
Chris Snook.
what's that?
Someone commented Chris Snook.
He's my
Yeah.
teammate. Yeah.
Yep, I remember that name. Yes, sir. We got some killer demos in that thing. Me and Byron and my buddy Josh that were hanging out with me at Slam. It was super cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Sir Gately, question for you.
Someday, I tested some product shit a couple of years ago, and I was really excited about it. And then I got John asked me to test some of the Sky High speakers, and they were a bit better than what I was testing. And so I set that project aside and asked engineers to provide me something better, and they fucking didn't. So I'm like, all right, I'll
There you go.
ask a different manufacturer to help me with that. And I named off some, materials I wanted the cones built out of and things of that nature that I was, in my experience with testing lots of stuff, with audio dynamics and stuff. I saw some really cool speakers, and I had some really good ideas, and
Right.
it's really hard to get people on board, especially the manufacturers overseas, until you have them do something. It's almost like you got to buy a bunch of their bullshit first, and then be like, hey, I'm ready to do this again, but you got to make me something better this time. But I can't afford that shit. I'm fucking not that wealthy. I don't have.
Well, and also with like in the mid and high game, I feel like there's two completely different sides of it. You've got the SQ side and the brick and mortar side, kind of the same brands. And then you've got our side, which every brand in our community has mids and highs for the most part you can buy. And you can't really compare the two. Some may sound just as good as the other, but it's literally like two completely different directions. Are you going to sell stuff to the basshead community? Or are you going to sell stuff to, the hi-fi community? So I know you can use both in one or the other.
In both. It's
But
pretty
there's
crazy.
Well, you can
definitely
only use
two-
one
there's a line
in
for sure.
both. The other one isn't allowed in the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Even if it'll work, they'll be like,
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you're not gonna
no,
find anybody.
it doesn't have the
White Claw.
graph loaded on the box, and it doesn't say it came from Italy, because even though it came from China, and I've seen them
Yeah.
all being made in the same factory.
No, it's like you should just take a bunch of our community stuff and just slap like a Focal prototype logo on it, and you'd go to a show and SQ guys would spooge all over it. Like, what are
And we'd
those?
listen to some of it, and they'd be like, this is fucking junk. What the fuck?
Yeah,
But some of it you could fucking fool some motherfuckers with.
for sure. Well,
it's-
just like the B2
it's a real
stuff that's in the Raiden, I mean, it sounds amazing, but you're not going to find a lot of B2 stuff running in the SQ lanes. And it's nothing against B2.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
just B2's kind of
and a
more
lot
of
of
a
those
bass brand.
speakers are super duper nice. The reference speakers that Jim wanted to use are great. And if you had, a single one of those 8s and a single one of those 6.5s and one of those 3s, and probably not those horn tweeters, but like the reference tweeters that they normally have in those kits,
Yeah.
I'm real confident you could build something extreme. Actually, I've done it. I did a build in a CTSV Cadillac that, I built custom pillars and the 3s and the tweeters, and I did the 6-inch in the front doors in a little sealed enclosure.
Yeah.
Tuned
sounded
DSP, and it was actually a single 12 in a single Rampage 12 in a 6th order in the back. Now that didn't sound SQ, but it hammered like a motherfucker with a 5K on it. And but otherwise, the rest of the audio system was very SQ. So yeah.
No, I mean, even I'm not picking on B2 at all. Like their
Yeah,
reference set is freaking awesome. And if it was put into a car SQ blindfolded, those guys, I mean, they're gonna love the way it sounds. It's just that like I said, there's the lanes. Like you either come out and you're this hi-fi SQ brand or you're not. It's like being Lexus versus Toyota. Like Toyota's, you remember the Toyota Avalon? They didn't fucking sell any of them because it's one step below Lexus and the most expensive Toyota you can buy. So who the fuck's gonna want it? Nobody.
Yeah.
So it's like that same, at least for me, that's my feeling on it.
Yeah.
But I know you wanted to talk about some install stuff.
Yeah. Like,
Last episode.
like, what's your favorite like install tools? And techniques and maybe components. Like, what is your favorite piece of equipment that you like to install, even just currently? And I know, I'm pretty confident I know what Drew's favorite tool is. It's probably the Max, and it looks like a lot of fun, and it looks super cool. You get that mic array, and it's like, and it already tell you what the time alignment is and all that. You're not trying to measure shit with your fucking tape measure to your ear and play that game. It knows really where the shit is at. So that's super cool. But Drew, what's your favorite piece of audio equipment? Just, is it a fucking ZV515? Is it
200.4 version 1?
Yeah. We've talked about those. It's such a massive, badass 4-channel Class AB amplifier.
I have one missing. I can't find it. I'm kind of that's also irritating me this week. I went looking for it. It was brand new in box, and I can't find it.
Yeah.
Did you let a homeboy borrow an amp or what?
Nope.
You wouldn't let somebody borrow a brand new one in the box.
Nope. No, I've let people borrow the other ones because they're used, but not this one. This one's brand new in box.
Dude, you'll find it. It's like I thought
probably hid it somewhere from yourself. You're gonna find it and like feel dumb.
No, it's not here. It's gone.
You think somebody stole an amplifier from your house?
I think it is wherever my Kicker Bullfrog 400 is that I won in Vegas. That is also mysteriously gone. So
those are tough to live without. I use mine all the time.
Yeah, we Allison won one of those Kicker Bullfrogs at that thing, and she still uses it too. It's a cool little piece. Yeah,
it's great, man. It's really long range. How about you, Bobby? What's your favorite piece of install equipment at the moment? What are you digging using? Or what helps you the most? Like, what is there a certain piece of equipment that saved you so much time that you could actually say, like, this thing has actually made me money just for the time it's.
You know what? It's kind of like it's kind of a weird thing. I mean, if I go, what's my favorite tool? It's like, oh, my fucking Laguna Monster CNC machine is like the one, right? That's the fucking money making badass. But my laser that gets used less than about anything else. I mean, the 3D printer doesn't get used much, and it's pretty handy, but it's cool. But the laser is like this magical cardboard cutting, make sure you didn't fuck everything up tool. You're like, I designed something and I'm like,
how big is your laser bed?
Let me fire it off on some cardboard. And you go beep, 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 beep. And you fucking, it's like right there too. Sometimes I don't even get out of my, is there cardboard still in there? I'm like, oh, cool. And it's on. Cut. And I'm like, cool. I go over and it smells like fireworks and I like look at it and I go and I line it up on the customer's car or whatever the hell I'm working on. And I'm like, yes. Or sometimes I'm like, ooh, I fucked it up. I'm so glad I did the cardboard. It's always a celebration. You're like either, I didn't fuck it up at all. Cool. Or it's like, yes, I only made it out of cardboard. I didn't fire up a whole CNC and gobble up a chunk of fucking acrylic or something. So that, how big is your
laser? Your laser bed?
It's 150 watt and it's 4 feet by 32 inches is the space I have.
Okay.
Actually, I have my favorite tool in the closet. I'll go get it.
It better not be a sex toy.
Between my legs.
Yeah. You're using it for installs?
Hell yeah, dude.
Like upholstering an A-pillar. You're all, just massage this down.
How do you think my glue beads are so tight? Shit.
You're all like, you're like pressing down the bead of PL3X.
Yeah,
like climbing around over the baffle in the truck, like.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'd say like my favorite tool right now is the welder.
Oh yeah.
I seem to use welder and a grinder.
Yeah,
That's
it was probably like 3 years ago that I was like TIG welding everything in sight. I was like, oh, I'm going to make this out of aluminum. I'm going to TIG it. And I was like, and I was like, I was about that TIG life. It was fun.
dude. It is fun, at times. For the most part, it's fun, and then it sometimes I'm looking at it, I'm like, how the fuck have I only welded like 7 inches? I feel like I've been doing this
For a
forever.
week. You're like,
Gotta have one of
the
these.
sun just came up and I had coffee. Oh, yeah.
What is that?
It's a tone generator, speaker popper, RCA testing thingy.
Speaker
Broke it.
popper.
Yeah,
That's
so
dope,
you
Pretty
dude.
handy. We've been through
Okay.
probably a dozen of those at my shop, and we just order a new one every once in a while.
Yep.
Yesterday I was using one. Yesterday I was using one for a moment, and I was realizing that it was kind of on its last leg, and I was like, I better get an order another one of those.
I don't have a speaker in here, but yeah, so it's got leads. Got leads on it that'll put out signal. You can change the frequency. Actually, I'll just go get a speaker. There's one in the kitchen.
That's fucking dope.
Also,
It's almost like a mini SMD thing.
Now he's having fun. He's not as grumpy. Those are good too.
Yeah, nice. Some Nipexes or what? Those look nice.
These are Milwaukee's, but there's strippers, cutters, and pliers all in one. That's the
Yeah,
ticket.
dude,
But
those are-
yeah,
those
if you're
are
in car
really
audio, these are like $25 on Amazon.
Yeah,
gotta get one.
worth
Oh.
every penny.
Yeah.
You'll use
Good
it way
setup.
more than you think, and if you're not using it, you're fucking up. Yeah, it's a good
You
tool.
And for real, what Drew said, like a good set of strippers, crimpers, in one, dude, those go a long way. Especially when you're doing deck installs and anything small wire shit, and you could just crimp and cut and everything all without having to switch tools.
Yeah, I like the strip with the cutter part of the crimper tool. And I
Yeah.
really like this Ideal brand that have the yellow handles. There's a specific hardware store that's not far from the shop, but the only thing I really ever want to buy from there is a set of those. And I go there every handful of years and I'm all, there they are. There's the fucking ones. Woohoo. So
So you have to post up what those are. I want to see. I'd like to check them out. What else
There
you
you go,
got,
David.
Drew?
he's gonna show us the speaker. My favorite audio product.
I
That,
wonder, was Rhonda talking about the little thing?
Yeah, the little tone generator.
All right, so let's pop it. You see it moving?
Yeah.
And let's see.
Steve Mead who? I'm just joking.
And you can just, is it good for like whenever you're troubleshooting something, like in a car, like door speaker isn't playing. You can see, well, is the door speaker, is it the amp? Like what's going on? You can eliminate a lot of potential issues with that. That was one thing we talked about on somewhere. It says that.
What's that thing called, Drew? I'm going to post it in the chat.
This one is the part number is IBR68. It's 20. I know it's like $25 on Amazon. I bought that.
I need to order another one. Like,
is it a tone generator or like what is it?
Yeah, it's a signal or tone generator.
It's called
speaker tester,
speaker polarity and RCA cable tester tone generator.
All right, peeps. I put it in the chat. If you want that thing, go. You can probably just slap that into.
You just slap that into Amazon. It'll pop up like $25 from Metro or something like that. But now we were talking about
Well, there's a fancy pack one that looks very similar. That's
it's the exact same thing.
$43.
It's just it's the exact same thing. I've had both.
It
the
is.
The pack one died 2 weeks ago.
There's one that's $23 right here.
Yeah, the pack one died a week ago. 2 weeks ago.
Have you guys ever used the test light to charge your amps?
Yes,
I've used
the probe tool.
Test light.
Yeah, you just put that on, you charge, and then you connect your wire, and doesn't spark all over the fucking place.
Yeah,
I use a Power Probe, one of the digital ones.
Yeah, I actually was going to try to come out with some sort of like amp charging tool that was basically just a test light, but it was a amp charging tool. Because a lot of people, they fear that spark, and literally you could just connect your bank to this little probe and touch your positive, and no spark. It'll charge your caps, and you're good to go.
So I don't know if people have experienced this, if you guys have experienced this, but every once in a while you can get you could damage a Steve Mead fuse block that has the stainless steel stud with the stainless steel nut on it, and that often happens because somebody will put their fuse in and it'll
makes sense.
spark and it'll fuck up the thing, and then as they spin the nut down, it'll gall up and seize up, and then you're cranking it and it's a big mess and it breaks it. And
Hey,
and
a
Steve's
strip
cool as
bolt
fuck,
is future
man. He'll
deprov,
replace
not your
that
problem.
shit. He'll give you a new one if that happens, or if like you get some of the wire strippings, like if you're fucking getting all wild with your stripping of the wire, and you got some threads in there, strands in those leads, it'll cause that same issue. So, but yeah, often, you know, when you put the fuse in, you can have some arky sparky going on. So yeah, Steve, your tool would
Thanks,
only
Rhonda.
be useful for those fucking no fuse guys, man. It's not that.
I mean, yeah, you could connect all your shit and then do your fuses after, but your fuses.
But
are
if you
still
do the
gonna fucking
fuses
spark,
on
yeah.
the Steve Mead block and you cause a bunch of arcs, you can cause that nut to seize up on the post. So
Yeah, so you need my tool, is what you're saying. Yes.
you can do it right there on the little Steve Mead gizmo. Yep.
On what gizmo?
On the Steve Mead block. So what I typically do is I take the fuse and I don't touch it to the threads. I just touch it on the two flat spots, not on the threads.
Still sparks though.
But like
Scary.
my
There,
little
but
tool
it
will be
doesn't
like
work
it'll be like
on the
$8,
threads
dude.
of the
It'll be
fucking
so
thing,
cheap.
So
I mean,
You mean
this will be
$80?
for anybody that doesn't have Steve Mead fuse blocks. How about
then they're
that?
fucking up a long time ago.
Yeah, then- and I'll sell a lot of them, dude. They're like $5
I was
tools.
trying to think. I have an SMD 8 spot on my hood, so
I had
Yeah.
an 8 spot under the. Actually, I still have an 8 spot under the hood of the Green Monster, and it was pretty cool how we had that set up.
I'm gonna have to get with him and get some shit for the Explorer. So for the Explorer, I'm gonna get it playing for the Showdown. It might be primered, so it might be not as ugly, but
go buy a bunch of the chalkboard spray paint and make it a chalkboard. Let people write all over it.
shit. No.
That'll be killing it. Or even just mix something weird in the primer and make a weird ass primer color. Do like a weird primer green or beige or purple or
actually
something.
ask
Like a
the dude to
primer
prime it.
purple.
I could have.
What do you got? You got some Paint Huffer Metal Flake?
Yeah, I could ask him to throw some flake or something in the primer to change the color.
Primer
But
with
what I
flake
was
in
gonna
it would be
say is-
gangster. I don't know. It
is-
might make it pretty fucky. You might like when you're trying to sand it, the metal flakes might cause a fucking big issue.
No, I just wanted one color so that I could throw a wrap over it. It doesn't look like shit. But Drew, your mic must have went off.
That's for the Tahoe when I paint it.
Okay.
Sick.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
But yeah, I'll have it playing, and then basically I'll have a year till next SEMA to get it like 100% super pretty, all the SMD shit, all the good stuff. So
Hey, did you guys see Steve made some new products with the fuse and the distro block kind of built into one?
Oh, must have missed that one.
Yeah, it's a new thing. It's pretty cool.
I did not see that. Let's see. Here we go. I just trimmed mine yesterday because I had somewhere to go and it looked crazy.
I
Nah.
was going to get a haircut and a beard trim yesterday at 3:00, but then I had like my uncle and my buddy Josh show up at the same time, and we worked until like 7:00 at night at the shop on a bunch of shit, and then we all went and had sushi. So that didn't happen. I was going to do it today, but then we had the show and I needed to get my ass home. But I got a wedding to go to on Saturday. One of my technicians, Tyson, is getting married, so we're all going to that on Saturday. So hopefully either tomorrow or Friday, I can get this fucking mess all fixed up.
Nah.
Well, Bobby, you tend to let yours come and go sometimes.
Yeah, every once in a while, I'll just shave the whole thing off and be like, fuck this thing. So I don't know.
Someone said, can you explain in the old 215s versus 118 in theory on same power in proper enclosure, what would it take for the 118 to outperform 215s? Depends on what you mean by outperform. 118 to be louder on less power, be more efficient, most likely.
Yep.
And be more
Well, depending, you might have little puny motor 15s, right?
Yeah.
What if you had two 500-watt 15s and you
Well-
had 1,000-watt 18? You wouldn't know until you tested it, right?
Well, I didn't even know this was a theory. 215s versus 118. In theory, on same power.
I guess cone area is the thought. Which, I mean, if you're playing music, it's fine. It makes sense. Cone area usually does win for demo builds, but efficiency, total moving mass and ease of alignment. That's why you see the louder vehicles usually have lesser subs.
On a meter.
Yeah.
But when you're listening to music, if you just have more cone area, there it is, right?
Yeah, generally. Yeah, exactly. That's why you see guys like the windy builds with 24-12s or 15-18s or whatever it is. Cone area normally wins. But
15-18s build would be fucking wild. Nobody's done that yet, huh? Anybody
15
got
18s?
15-18s? What did that one guy have? The guy that was mad at us about the fucking
18-18s or 14-18s? A bunch of 18s.
He's got 20 18s.
He had what?
20.
Oh.
You're talking about the van, the white.
Yeah.
Dude, he's been working on that thing a lot, and I have a feeling come next slam,
I hope
he's
so.
going to be right up there, dude. I don't know if you saw the video of his 20 hertz 2 days ago.
No, but I'll tell you what, when I got in it, and all he would do is send burp tones at me, I was like, all right, you're done? Cool, thank you. I was like,
what was the dude's name again? I want to find this video so you can see it real quick.
Yeah,
Penny
so
Colton.
Penny. It's Penny, right?
Penny Colton.
Yep, you had mentioned the name before, and that sounds correct to me.
Let me see if I can find this video. Yeah, so I know he's been working on it. Here we go. I found it.
No, Chris, if you're gonna the only thing an isolator does in a lithium and non-lithium system is stop the front battery from pulling down the rear battery when the vehicle's off.
Yeah.
So unless it sits for a long time, no, the isolator isn't gonna help. And the 12K should be similar in voltage to a AGM within reason, but you'll probably see a performance gain by pulling out the AGM because its limitation in charging capabilities, speed more than anything.
Yeah. We actually have a write-up on JY Power, a blog post that talks about isolation and batteries like that. So, but yeah, exactly what Drew said. If it's a car that sits, either isolate it or just disconnect the two. If it's a daily driver,
you're not gonna. I mean, no. and even say you have a lithium battery that, I mean, if it's charging about 14.8 anyway, then you shouldn't be using it with an AGM regardless, because AGM shouldn't charge above 14.8. So,
yeah, if it's an LTO, you may want to separate the sides because your stock electrical shouldn't be running at 15.8 anyways, unless you're like anything pre 2000.
Hi, whoops.
Hi.
Green Monster, man. When I start that thing up and it's cold, the alts will start charging at like 16.3, and I'll be like, I got to turn the stereo on. I'm like,
I'll forget.
I'm like, turning it on. I'm like leaving my neighborhood with a little bit of beat going. I'm like, fuck.
When I'm driving the Tahoe, I'll forget I turn the second, third alternators on, and I have them set to like 16.2 or 16.3 because they're externally regulated. I'll just be cruising, and all of a sudden I'll look down and be like, shit.
All right, so this
let's see this thing, man. I'm rooting for this thing, man.
All right, let me get the sound going here.
That looks fucking rad.
Sounds like
yeah, I see him posting a lot. I know he's been working on it.
Nice. So it wouldn't play. I was like, he was sending burp tones when I climbed in it, right? It was like fucking 50 hertz. It was all he would play. He was
honestly, I don't want. Hey, those are different subs. What's up with that?
No, those are the same.
He has a bunch of different subs.
No, those are not the Neo American base subs.
He didn't have Neos in there when we saw it at Slam.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% positive because he actually flipped the subs. I noticed it the first time I got in there. They were all sealed or they were all inverted, and then the next day they were vice versa. It was one or the other. But
Really?
those are the same subs.
I mean,
I
I
think he was
love
trying to
the
figure out
effort.
why it wasn't playing correctly. He had some issues at Slam, like it wasn't. I know
It
I
wouldn't
talked to him a
play
little bit
lower
about it.
frequencies, and all he wanted to do was play tones for at least a large period of the day. Because we came running up to that thing all excited. You know, somebody was like, dude, he's got a bunch of 18s or 15s or whatever whatever they had said to me. And I was like,
Yeah.
he's got what? And it was like this big ass van. I was like, oh, here we go. And I'm like, and he was like all excited that I was getting in. I had one of the, you know, the orange shirt on, and like he was like, here it goes. And he like hit me with a burp tone and made me tap. And I was like, okay, can you play like music with some like lows and shit? And he was like, no. And I was all, okay, cool. Right on,
No,
man.
you're
Thanks.
right.
And I just like moved on. I was like, well, maybe he's a competitor and he's, you know, hitting for, you know, I don't know.
I
He's
think
trying to
I
get
think it was a
180s or
combo
something, but
of
yeah.
being like a newish build. There was a couple of issues. It wasn't quite playing the bandwidth.
Right.
think if I
Oh,
remember
I mean, I bet
correctly,
it's going to be, I mean, it looked like right there, that was fucking rad. So
I want no part of that. It's too windy. Nope. I'm good,
I
dude.
want all of that
Dude,
stuff.
I mean, I'll do like she did and stand in the door. I'm not getting in the
Not
corner
even.
of that
I'd rather
motherfucker.
get in it. I'd rather get in it.
I want
No,
my
because
ears
like
to rip off.
Diego's van out in wherever
yeah.
Diego lives, 12 ZV518s.
Woo.
No, I've
Super
got
retarded.
like 2 demos of it, and last time I got demos, I was like, nah, dude, I'm good. Turn it off. I'm good.
Dude,
Someone was like,
it's
oh, you
super
tapped. Like, no, maybe, but it hurt my beer, hurt my face. Like,
Yeah.
that hurts.
Yeah, you got to hold on to it, man. Like,
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Like, once it gets that windy, like, I'm
I
good.
love that shit, dude. It makes
I'm
me
good,
feel
dude.
like I'm on a ride. It's
Bro,
like a
I live
completely
in
different
that's my
scene.
favorite.
I live where hurricanes happen.
favorite. I'm all,
My favorite.
I'm all
dude. I
it
love
doesn't hurt my ears. It doesn't hurt my balls. Makes my
ears
fucking
hot.
cauliflower ears flap. That's some gangster shit. I love that. That's my favorite.
Nah, I live where hurricanes happen. I experienced that too much. I'm good. I can just open the front door
All
of the
right.
house and be like,
it's making you
Dude,
feel
if we
something you
get
don't want to experience again. Yeah.
if we get
okay.
a bad hurricane this year, I'm gonna shoot a video of opening the front door and just letting like a
letting like a 150 hurricane blast you, and you'd be like, am I getting a demo? No, I'm in a hurricane. Fuck, and close the door and lock it.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
But if I have any advice to homie there, because I know he wants that award. Now that you got the thing playing super nasty, just concentrate a little bit on making it super pretty. Because like me,
Be
I
able
don't
to
know,
play like all day, and
That's what I was about to
play
say.
whatever,
Work on
play some music,
efficiency and making sure you can maintain a volume that is 75% your max all day.
yeah,
all day.
and I mean, and you got to remember, like, I'm kind of an old school bass head, so I come from the era where install meant something. You know, like when I left car audio, it
install
still
means
meant
something to me.
well
bit,
to you,
little
but you
little
go to any show now, they don't give a shit what your car looks like. Where back in the day when I was competing when I was young, you know, like that was half of your deal, and I'd spent a lot of time making my shit look good. So I'd like car audio to get back to that. Like, there's no reason why your car can't be super loud and also look good at the same time.
Stephen Duncan,
Definitely possible.
prime example.
Yeah,
I mean,
it takes time.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean, and it takes.
I got a message from Steve like right before I started fucking around with my stupid headphones earlier, asking about him shipping the truck out to Gately Audio.
I might have been in his ear about that a little
I
bit.
fucking bet, and I appreciate it. It's going to be so much fun. I got so much love for Steve and all of his builds, and I mean, it might be the #1 favorite build, but the white fucking Chevy is so epic, and I love that thing so much. And 2 years, a year and a half ago at Slam, I had like it might have been my favorite demo I ever had. And then I watched my buddies all get in and out of it. My buddy Rudy, that passed away a couple months later, he got out of that thing, and he was so jacked, and he was so excited, and man, that and your brother was operating the vehicle at the time, and we had such a good time with that. And that was when it came down to the voting, I was like, if we're picking a particular vehicle, then it's the fucking white truck for me. I was like, that's what I say. When it got down to, and other people had been like, dude, the fucking white truck is getting it. And a couple of the guys were like, I didn't get to experience it, or I heard it, but I didn't get quite the demo you did, because it was, it was like voltage was down and it was tired, or and but it was like, it was either the van or the truck. And when I saw the van, it was like all broken and like parts of subs were flying out of the door and shit. Well, so anyway, yeah. So it was like, it was Steve or Steve. So we were like, you fucking win, bro.
Pretty much.
So,
Yeah, the white truck, dude. That's a unit. But if he sends it to you, you'll see the things that we've had to do to keep it together, and it's a lot.
The Jakar builds, man, you gotta love Old Silver. It's fucking badass. I've been in that thing at a few different iterations of it, and I absolutely loved it. It's a beast. Couple other builds that I've been in were pretty cool. There was one that in particular that I was like really excited for, because it was super wild and it had really weird loading, and it was like super violent, and it would like nuke the windshield and do all this stuff. But you get inside and it was like, where's the hotspot? Is it like outside the fucking car? This thing is wild. I didn't know it was going to, but it was something they had kind of tried something really different. They must have, and it worked to standing next to the door and to fucking destroy windshields. But when you were in the vehicle, it didn't load up on you super well. But I love that the guys at Jakar will build some wild ass, beautiful shit. Somebody knocking at the door.
I think I've heard.
Shit.
What's she
She's coming in?
now?
She got multiple drinks. I'm probably only going to have one more. I should only have one more.
I should have brought this home with me. I want some White Claw. I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby.
I've been in multiple Jakar builds, seen a lot of them. As far as install goes, it's hard to beat. I love that they take the time to like float stuff in. Like,
oh man, he's so good, and they're so good at laying that. Like, I mean, I know it sounds like some people are like bedliner, but I'm like, dude, no. He sprays that fucking bedliner and it is fucking perfect. It looks so good. They're fucking awesome.
Final product. And they're all loud. I mean, I got a demo of Old Silver. I think like the first time when it had Sundowns in it, it slammed. And then I think maybe it had DCs in it at one time. I don't even know. And then I had 5 subs in it the last time I heard it, which was at the Showdown. And it was retarded.
Yeah.
And also Ramondo's build, who's part of the SEMA crew. That's a Jakar build. I don't know if you knew that or not, but that thing's.
I think Ramondo's and Old Silver are 2 of my really, really favorite builds. They're fucking badass, and they perform a lot. So
yeah. Well, speaking of SEMA, I'll go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about it and get them hopefully some juices flowing. So the Showdown and SEMA are 2 separate things. Okay, for everybody watching, the Showdown is my car audio show that's on the weekend, and SEMA is obviously this massive mobile. It's not mobile. It's
car. It's an automotive. Yeah.
It's the largest automotive car show.
It's the largest convention of any kind in the world at all. Period. Yeah.
So there's 200,000 to 300,000 people will come through there. Everything and anything you can think about for cars, aftermarket stuff, all the
you name it, it's there.
Brands,
Facts.
everything is there. So basically, last year I reached out to them and asked if I could do like a mobile audio booth experience, activation, whatever, and they let me do it last year. So last year we had Steve Duncan's van, the Sky High van, the Bloodbath, Vasily's Audi, Jeff's boat, Ramondo's Tahoe. I think it's a Tahoe.
I think it's Tahoe. Yeah,
I think
it's Tahoe.
I think that's about everybody. Didn't give us the best spot. They didn't really understand.
They didn't. They
how
thought
it was. I told them so many times, dude. Like, it's like these are the loudest cars in the country, maybe the earth. They're very loud, and they're like, "Oh, we totally get it. We got you."
That's
I'm
why
like,
they
"Okay."
put us. They thought the concrete was going to help, dude. The
Yeah.
guy even said, he was like, "Oh no, that wall is like a foot thick," and I was like, "That's not helping
We're gonna
at
find
all."
out, buddy. Don't you worry
It's gonna
about
make it worse. So we fire up Wednesday. It was I really liked that what we did. I thought it was kind of cool. It was
Oh,
Tuesday actually. Tuesday at like 9 in the morning, like right when the show opens. We just fucking let her rip, dude. And not within like 10 minutes, homie in the red jacket's like dead sprinting down the alleyway. Like, you gotta turn that shit off. And so we went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They basically asked us to like
No, I think
not
they
not
on
play.
Wednesday they were like, okay, like midday, you guys could turn them on, and you got to like keep them at like and we're
Super
like,
quiet for a few minutes at a
Yeah.
time.
and then
Thursday you do a little more, and
Yeah.
Friday you can play.
and then
them.
like I
mhm.
could play the bloodbath with the windows up, and I'm
Right.
like destroying fucking Brian's truck, and I'm like, and we're getting kind of away with it, and then Drew lights off fucking Duncan's truck, and
That
then
was
they
it.
like come out and freak out, and he shuts that down, and then like
So
fucking
yeah,
3
so
minutes later he's outside stock. The guy is talking to Steve.
yes.
Standing there,
Yeah.
and just the speakers are going on the shit show, right? The Sky High van, it's called
Yeah.
the shit show. My wife named it, and John is like looking. He sees the guy talking, and he turns and looks at me, and then he looks at Johnny, and he just
And I'm
rolls
like,
all 5 of the fucking knobs to everything it had, and the fucking shit show
Dude.
is just doing all of it. It's like violence, and this thing will only
Bro.
do that shit for a couple of minutes with the subs and everything. And it's like fucking, and it's like gonna break itself. And the
Yeah.
guy standing talking to Steve is like,
No, so yeah, during that conversation, he's like, "Okay, we're a couple hundred feet away from you guys, right next to the door to go into this one hall." And he's talking a little bit, whatever, blah blah. And then John does that. He looks at me. He looks over there. He goes, "Here, come on inside. Let me show you what I'm talking about." And as soon as he opens that door, there's a dude in a suit giving a speech to like 40 people in fucking chairs. And right when he opened the door, every single person looks right because you can't hear anything except for John's van inside the fucking hall. So
At all.
everybody turns and looks at us.
and bass.
All the
You
walls,
know there's bass, and there's shitloads
Yeah.
of it, and then there's
all
highs
the
and mids.
walls are just going
fucking
brah, brah,
screaming.
brah, brah, while this guy's trying to talk. And he's like, "You see what I'm talking about? These guys, this booth paid 15,000, 30,000, 50,000." He's like, blah, blah. He's like, "These guys, they have to,
They
they're
were
here
teaching
for."
people how to put fucking vehicle wraps on.
Yeah,
It's
like
a
nobody
giant
gives a
sticker.
shit, man.
Fuck that shit.
So yeah, so
You'll figure
they
it
shut
out,
us
bud.
down. Basically, they after
No,
that,
I don't. I
after
mean to be more
John,
respectful, really, but
yeah,
God damn
after he did that, that was basically it for us until Friday. They let us.
and then they told us Friday afternoon we could crank them, and
Then
then
I let that thing rip tater chip.
oh
yeah, and dude, we were
giving
demos
it
to
everything,
so many
dude.
people.
I had someone
John when John would open up the doors of the shit show, you could
And let
hear
her go.
that motherfucker when you were pulling in on the tram at least a half a mile away, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
could hear the music clear. It was so
we were in like
fucking loud.
perfect tunnel too. It was
People, and we're like walking it. I'm like, I
drew
was
crowd
doing a live feed,
quarter
and I'm
mile.
turning, and I'm going like this, and I'm like, can you see it? And I'm like, you can't see it. I can barely see it with my eyes, and you can't see it on the phone. And we're walking, and we're walking. It's like 5 minutes of me walking, and you can hear it on my phone. We arrive,
Yeah, and
we swing
I
open
think-
the fucking bloodbath, and we had like a line of like, there was
Yeah,
like a
people
bunch of
wanted
goobery
demos.
dudes and a bunch of cute chicks ready to get hair tricks. It was so much
Yeah.
fun.
When we turned on Friday afternoon, the amount of people that funneled into that alleyway is, I think, what sold them on having us back. Because when they saw it went from 30 people to 1,000 plus people in like 2 minutes, they were like, "Oh, you know." So
Stunt walls. The stunt walls
Yeah.
just dragged people in. It was
So this
fucking cool.
year-
and then when they'd see the pretty girls getting hair tricks in all the
Mhm.
builds, when there was the 2 little models, they're really tiny little beautiful Asian girls and they got in the bloodbath, they got in the shit show. I think they might have got in Duncan's van as well. But my buddy was like, "Oh look, it's Fook me and Fook you." I was fucking dead. But you know, like stuff like that when you just got, you know, pretty girls getting demos and a bunch of people smiling and having fun and
Dude, loud music, just
people
draws
dancing
people.
around outside and
Just like
shit.
music. Yep.
I mean, that was
So
a hell of an experience, Steve.
Can y'all hear me?
And
Yep.
you putting that shit together means a lot to this fucking community. I don't even know if you really know what it's fucking amazing. And anybody that doesn't realize what you're doing for the car audio community is a fucking loser.
Hey, can y'all
So-
hear me?
I can
Yeah.
hear you, but your camera's frozen.
Yeah. You look very confused. It's pretty
I'm
cool.
confused. I'm wondering why it's frozen.
Maybe disconnect and reconnect. Let me see if I kick you from it.
No, hold on. I can just turn the camera. I can just.
But yeah, so yeah, dude, I appreciate you saying that. It will. I think we'll start to see the waves of it in the next coming years as more and more. I mean, you see on TikTok and every other social media thing how kind of bass videos are becoming very popular. A lot of normal people watch hair trick videos, never seen it before. So
Oh yeah,
so
people
some of
had
this
no
stuff-
idea it would do that. They were like, guys would be like putting their girlfriend in the truck. Can she get in? And I'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, have you ever done this anything like this before? She's like, no. And I'm like, it's gonna blow your hair. And they'd be like, what? Well,
Yeah.
it's gonna
You'll
blow
see.
your hair everywhere. Do you have a brush? They'd be like, no. And I'm like,
Sorry.
sorry, here you go.
Yeah.
So
So the lineup this year for SEMA is Armando's Ramondo's going to be there again. You're the Bloodbath, the 450, 2 trucks,
the Raiden.
Sky High Van, basically a lot of the same people from last year. The Vasilis, Audi, the boat. A new addition is going to be the Ground Pound, which is Chris from Limitless. That's
Okay.
Excursion. It's got crazy mids and highs all the way around, lights, ridiculous amount of lights. They also have a motorcycle called the Cash motorcycle. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's got like 612s in the fucking rear fender or something crazy.
What?
Yeah, that Limitless Cash motorcycle. You know
Oh
what I'm talking about?
yes.
It's got like, I'm pretty sure it's 610s or 612s in the rear fairing, like a 4th order, something crazy.
I think they're just sealed boxes loading.
It could be.
It's like a fourth.
And then
I
a
think.
lot of our community doesn't know this guy. I don't really know him, but Chris said that this build he goes to shows all the time and basically just sweeps everything. It's a guy named TJ. He's got a bourbon that's completely customized from head to toe. Huge rims, fiberglass everywhere, door speakers, rear speakers, bass, just ridiculous.
He owns an
Neon
LED
lights,
shop in Florida.
LED creations, yeah. So it's
Sick.
crazy. And
Yeah, I saw some
last but
pictures
not
of it, I
least,
think, right? In the group, in the SEMA group. Yeah.
Yep. And last but not least, hopefully it makes it. I'm pretty sure it's going to is John and Melissa's the Yukon, the Express Yukon.
That motherfucker's nasty.
Yeah.
That thing
So
will
we
rip
got a good list,
face
man.
off.
Good 12 really loud vehicles, and it should be a good time. I have a much better spot this year.
Where?
Still waiting.
Ah!
But I know it's going to be in the west lot, which is the newest lot. It's just below kind of where we ended up for the SEMA Ignited.
Okay, so what I suspect, and I've suspected this last year. Last year there was down the street, which ended up being across the street from where the SEMA Ignited lot was. There was this big, like, half round shaped lot, and there was a bunch of vehicles there, but it was almost like this like side thing. And it was in front of a big ass empty fucking building. I bet it's a good spot for us. I bet we could play all fucking day. And people that aren't paying people with tags can approach this part of the show.
Yeah.
And that was where they had the Henro guy engraving that truck.
Okay.
This is where I suspect they're going to put us. I don't know. Did you
Could
walk
be.
down there where to the Henro guy was doing the engraving on the whole outside of the truck?
No, I didn't see
Dude,
that.
that shit was fucking sick. I sent
I
him
know
some Relentless 12s to do because I was so impressed by what he was doing. He's the guy that did those crazy wheels for Sky
John?
High on that big crazy
Okay.
Blazer build they're doing.
Okay, yeah. So you got South Hall, Central Hall, North Hall, and then West Hall is like
There's the whole new building
it's,
right there.
It's up here. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right. It's in front of the North Hall and slightly north of the North
West.
Hall.
West
Well,
of the
it's
North Hall.
definitely west. It's west of the North Hall, but also
I'm
slightly
just
north of it.
guessing that the West Hall is the westernest hall
of all of
the
them. Yeah, 100%. And then and then
Google
most of
set
those
the button
vehicles,
guys.
huh?
No, I was hoping to show Allie on the bed. Another dog staring at
Mostly
me.
is most of
Oh,
those cars that'll
nice.
make SEMA are also going to be at the showdown for all the regular base heads to check out. If you're not going to happen to be in town for SEMA and you're just coming for the showdown, you're not going to miss out on getting demos from like the B2 Bourbon and Express Yukon and My Explorer.
I will be
Bobby
bringing
stuff.
the Bloodbath and the Raiden. I'm arranging transport for the Bloodbath. My buddy Brian, that owns the Bloodbath, Sinister Car Audio. Him and I talked today, and he said, "Hey man, I'm not going to be able to attend SEMA. If he does, it'll be like a last minute. He jumps on a plane and arrives and comes and hangs out and maybe gives out some demos. But we're going to transport the Bloodbath to your house, Steve, so you know."
Right.
And probably transport the Raiden. It'll drive just fine, but
Can you transport the Bloodbath a few days early so I could drive it around for a little bit?
Oh yeah, I'm sure Brian will be like super stoked to just like I mean I actually kind of want to do that simply because I don't want to risk it not arriving in time and being a fucking difficulty. So I almost want to transport them both early.
We could do
and I know
some
I can
epic
trust you to
trip
set up
videos.
the pickup and shuttle them off back to their homes after. So
Yeah, we'll be
that's my plan with that. Yeah.
Yeah, they could get dropped off at my place. It'd be no problem. As far as afterwards, the showdown, if they need to be picked up from my house, that's probably fine too. See why not?
Yeah.
But we figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah. So one other thing on our little list is the show coming up for you and John. Tell us a little
Oh,
bit
that's
about
right.
the
We
truck
have
video
up here in Sacramento, California at Sacramento Raceway. My wife will post the dates for us in a moment. It's October 8th is the NorCal Truck Mania. And what's really cool about this event is like it's a bunch of trucks and they'll have like drag racing and like mud racing and truck pulls. Ooh, yeah. Truck
It's
pulls.
soon to be car audio,
and
truck audio competition.
yeah, well, I don't know if there'll be an audio competition, but we'll
Next
have
year.
the fucking
Next year.
Raiden out there and a couple of my employees' builds and some of my customers out there with some really cool vehicles. So it's the 7th and 8th. I think the 8th is the main day. I think the 7th, if you can make it out there, there'll be a bunch of people drinking and trying to kill themselves on the drag strip in the middle of the night or some shit. I don't know. That's what I've been told as it gets fucking wild.
Is it an all truck show or is it just like lifted trucks or is it just
it's an all truck show? It's Truck Mania. So there'll be like guys with slammed ass trucks,
lower trucks, lifted trucks, everything.
I am told that I will have a truck that is slammed and also lifted by then. John Raby has been tinkering with John's main build guy. So yeah, my F-150, my daily truck, should be able to dump down to like slammed ass low and then air up to like a Jack Raptor size kind of a.
Really? Is it one of those? What the hell's the name of that lift that all those guys are getting?
Any level lift.
No, it's not hydraulic.
Kellerman.
It's not Kelderman. It's not. It's all custom shit that a lot of it Jeff has made, and then they modified some pre-existing parts that another couple of companies made. So something totally different manufactures the front and back of the truck. I don't know. I'm letting Jeff work his fucking magic. He's far smarter than me when it comes to that kind of stuff. And
that sounds awesome.
I'm so excited, dude. I don't even fucking like. I'm like, they were like, it's gonna be done today. We'll send you pictures. I got nothing, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave them alone. I'm gonna leave them alone. They're figuring that shit out. I'm gonna leave them alone. I know what's going on. It's probably the same kind of shit that's going on with customer builds that I have, where I'm like, we're not done. It's not working right. Let me fix it, and I'm just working my way through it. So
if they're gonna transport the bloodbath and the 450,
yeah,
are you gonna fly, or are you gonna?
I'm gonna
the
drive
truck
my
down,
F-150 down. It'll be at the
Okay.
fucking showdown, bitch. What's
Yeah,
up?
I didn't know. I was,
I'm gonna try to drive that motherfucker a lap around that off-road course if they'll let me.
well, you could just drive out there. What are they gonna say?
I mean,
Just do it on Sunday when the show's about over.
I go out there,
back to
break my
California.
shit, and I'll be posted up at your house while I fix my shit for a week. Yeah,
sounds good to me.
Were they?
That's
Did somebody tell me that they were having some kind of off-road race out there that weekend as well? Is that right?
There is an AMA motocross event, 2-day motocross event.
Sick as fuck. That'll be awesome. You know, I used to race
so if you
motocross
get-
a little bit. I super duper sucked at it. I was way better at motocross freestyle, but I wasn't very good at that either. So I have broken bones all over the place.
If you get a little tired of getting your wig split, you could always go across the street and watch a race or two. And I'm sure we're going to be getting some of those people coming over because they're going to hear us. They're going to want to see what the fuck's going on. So any of the vendors that are coming, if you want to bring some of your side-by-side stuff, probably a good idea. You might be able to sell some cans and all kinds of side-by-side off-road audio equipment because those people are going to be there. And it's a big race. It's not a small AMA. Obviously, if AMA is sanctioning it, it's not small. It's a big motocross event. So
look at how Drew's photo froze. Oh, it's gone. It was super cute. He was all snuggling his puppy.
Yeah.
I always snuggle my puppy.
I know, but it froze, and you
I
were
know, I saw that.
like mid love, man. It was so fucking cute.
This is my buddy. I got my
sir.
dog.
Yep.
I gotta feed my dog. Speaking of,
Someone said that puppy looks spoiled. It says, "Boy, this thing here."
So Jeff Barbados is the tech at at Sky High Car Audio. He's the main dude for Sky High Car Audio builds that works on a lot of stuff for John and the guys over there. And he's fucking amazing. And
he's really good.
I'm told he's having a lot of fun working on my truck. He's really excited about it, and that means a lot. So I'm fucking super stoked. Yep.
I'm excited to see it. Heck yeah. Well, I mean, we did an hour and a half. I think we did pretty good. I don't know if you guys got anything else you want to throw in there.
Give me 1 second.
Double check our little list of shit to make sure we didn't miss anything. We got the upcoming events. We talked a little bit the other day about what do we love this week? What do we love? And yeah. But I guess that's, I think it's pretty apparent.
I got a bigger one.
Dude, it's kind of crazy that I couldn't figure out where the dog and the Drew began and ended because of the black dog and the
you can't see the black dog's head. You get double dog.
This is my big one. We got a moose.
Rhonda asking about some details on the showdown.
What do you mean by the details? All the details are out. What kind of details do you need? Like where to park?
Hey, Google, set the bedroom to concentrate.
I'm not sure. If you want to type in what you're meeting real quick, I'd gladly answer your question before.
What is Daryl Brooks asking the age of everyone? Fucker, I'm old, bro.
I'm 40. I turned 40 like a month ago.
He's a fucking baby. I'm 48, I think. My wife will confirm.
And Drew's
I'm old
30.
enough to own a moose. How's that?
We were just talking about this. How when I was working on the Explorer a few days ago, and I realized I'm not 30 anymore. The last time I did a big build in that car, and every time I move to weld a different corner, I have to go and move my leg, and I just don't know what happened to my body in the last 10 years. But
I'll tell you, last year before SEMA, I did a fucking all-nighter at the shop. And it was about 7:45 a.m. And I'll tell you, I don't know what my face looked like, but my technicians would like literally be like running when they'd see me coming. They're like, fuck that. I don't want to be anywhere near that motherfucker. And I'm like, like walking through the shop, and they're like showing up to work like I didn't even want to. They didn't even get past the letter G of good morning, and they're like, oh hell no, this motherfucker been here all night. I had like contact cement and shit on me, and it was a lot. And I'm like, I am way too fucking old for this bullshit.
Yeah,
So
dude.
like my goal this year for SEMA is I don't care how many 15, 18-hour days I do. I just don't want to do one where I stay at the fucking shop all night long. I got to go home. I got to take a shower, change my clothes. I don't care if I sleep. Just don't be at the shop all night. If I can avoid that, I'll be fucking happy with my SEMA goals for this year. And there's some wild shit that I got to get done before SEMA. Bunch of shit nobody's ever fucking done before, because I was like, look, fucking Jim that owns the Raiden, and I'm like, I can make this and I want to do it here. And he's like, do that shit. I don't care what it takes. It's going to be fucking amazing. And then I did the same thing with John Raby, and he's like, oh yeah, I have 19 or 20 or whatever the fuck it is parts in his suspension that he wants done that same way. And I'm like, oh fuck, whatever, I'm gonna get it done. Watch me go. So
well, Rhonda asked the parking vendor setup. So I'd say my deadline to get sponsors for booths is pretty late in October. And once I have that, it won't take me long to do a lot layout, and I'll lay out everybody's booths. I'll post a little map on the event page that'll show where everybody goes, and it'll be all marked out. I usually use some chalk, and I'll map everybody's stuff on the ground and write your name and where your booth is. So it'll be pretty easy. As far as parking goes, this should be a no-brainer for everybody. If you want to park together, you roll in together. It's fucking simple. So if you want 10 guys to all park next to each other and only 6 of you are there, you just go wait for your other 4 people to show up, and then you all drive in together. There's going to be no holding spots, none of that shit, because there's too many people, too many cars coming in one after another. So, like I said, roll in together if you want to park together. But besides that, it's first come, first serve for cars, and vendors will be all marked out. So it'll be organized and easy to follow.
I'm 30.
Yeah, Drew's young.
I'll be 31.
He's got 10 years before he can't move until everything.
Well, I'm thick. I can't.
Well, then, yeah, they were probably about right, because I'm thick too. So I think 40s where thick boys start to hurt.
Oh,
like
Lord,
Bobby's kind of
he ain't
skinny, so he's like 48. He still feels good. It's weird. But it's just another show. Bobby takes off right at the end, and then we're gonna say our goodbyes, and he ain't even gonna fucking be here.
Man,
what's up, dude? I'm telling you, your day couldn't have been as shitty as mine.
It's just been a week, dude.
I hear that. Well, I'll wait till Bobby gets back, and then we'll say bye to everybody, so he can have a proper. I'll open another beer while we wait. Shit.
It's Wednesday, but I think I work for myself. I can go to the bar tonight. It'll be all right. I'm not, but I could.
I am. I'm single, ready to mingle, baby. I'm just fucking around. But
I mean, the strip's right down the road, bro. Right, calling you can hear it.
That's why I want Bobby to give me the bloodbath a couple days early. I'll take that bitch down the strip, turn all the lights on, dude. Viral videos.
Or the rating.
Dude, it'd be awesome. The rating would be sick too. But the bloodbath has all the plexi and the neons and it's just, there's a lot going on there.
Raiden has the big wheels though, and the glowing suspension.
I mean, it does. The only issue, I said it last week, and it's going to be my issue forever with all lifted trucks, is you don't get a feeling of what the hell's going on up there because it's 10 feet above your head.
All right.
How was that tinkle? Well, that's 37 seconds. It could have been.
I was fucking dying, man. I'm like, I thought we were gonna finish this shit like 15 minutes ago. We started talking about wrapping it up. I was like, cool, I gotta pee. And then all of a sudden I was like, Dude, I gotta go.
Well,
I mean, I
we-
tried
we-
everything. I flushed the toilet early, trying to get it to race the toilet and finish up early. That was a lot of pee.
Well, we waited for you to close her down. So I was telling Drew that for real though, I would like the rated, or not the rated, but either in my house a day or two early, so I can take it to the strip and pull some.
Shoot some of that content, bro. Some of that viral content.
Well, I will definitely ship it there early, and I will talk to both Jim and Brian about turning you loose in both vehicles. For a
Use the
little bit.
Raiden to tow the bloodbath.
Oh,
Bloodbath is doing
and then
a
we'll have
hairstring
like
down
somebody
the ship.
in a fucking that'd be cool.
That'd be sick. But no, honestly, I'll be knee deep in SEMA stuff, show stuff, explorer stuff. That if I leave my house for 1 minute that weekend, somebody should shoot me. So unless my
I'll
car's
tell you what,
playing,
you
but
send the
the
vehicle.
chances of that
I'll fly in. I'll handle
you
it.
drive it.
I'll handle it.
Yeah, if you guys want to fly in a couple days early and help me wrap shit up, that'd be fucking sick.
We do a burnout with the Raiden in Price's Warehouse.
In Price's warehouse.
Heck yeah.
Does he have
All right,
room
boys,
for that
well-
shit? It's not like John's shop, man. It used to be this big ass open place.
He
And
did.
now it's
I-
fucking
for last
full,
SEMA,
dude. Oh,
there was
my
no
God.
space to. I pulled the van in there after I blew it up Friday night. Now I don't know if there's enough space, but there was then. I don't know if there is now.
No, last time I was there, it was
So-
pretty full, but I don't know.
But
My wife clearly
crazy.
needs me to remind everybody that
Yeah.
I will likely be operating the Raiden, and my wife will be operating the Bloodbath at
Oh yeah,
at SEMA and the Showdown. So
sweet,
yes,
sick.
yep.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see everybody next week. And like Bobby said, if you got any fails or questions or ideas, topics, anything, email us. I'm gonna put the email in the chat. If I can remember it. What is it? Quiet. God, I'm so bad at spelling. Quietly loud at gmail.com.
I had someone I designed him a wall, a 415s thingy. He's like, oh, I'm not going to use it. He's like, I want to do 6 instead. He's like, but I feel bad. So you did all that work to design it. I'm like, it's okay, bud. That's why I charge you both times.
Oh, hey, speaking of your designs, Casey's box is like almost done. It would have been done today, but I ordered a piece of mirror to put on the bottom. So, yeah, 221s, the Z series DDs in a 4th order that Drew designed. I'm building the enclosure, or my technicians are building it. All 1.5 Russian Baltic birch plywood, beautiful stain. You'll be able to see those crazy glowing cones in the mirror that I'm putting on the bottom, putting some bracing inside of there. And
Look,
you'll
Casey's
see
excited. He just
inside
don't
and
know
out of
what's going
every
up,
inch of
bud.
this fucking box.
I
Yeah,
didn't even know that they made 1.5 Baltic birch, dude. That's
I didn't either, but as soon as I found out, I keep that shit in stock, ready to go for builds
Bro,
like this. And,
fuck doing 2 layers at 3/4. Like Jesus, I didn't even know that
And,
was
most
available.
people don't know how to laminate 2 layers of wood together at all.
Most
I
people
have
can't
seen
screw 2
so
layers of wood
many
together.
boxes that are fucked up. So many double baffle fucking morons. And they go to mount the speaker, and the fucking screw drives through the first layer and hits the second layer and pushes the motherfuckers apart.
Let me ask
More
you
often
before we
than
quit.
not.
What
What's
do you
that?
do? What before we get out of here? What do you do
Okay.
to laminate the 2 together? Because I know what I do, and
Oh, I know what he does.
What do you do?
I get really, really excited looking at
No, for
pictures
real.
of my wife in all kinds of wild costumes. And then I
Yeah.
glaze both pieces of wood with a significant amount of really hot jizz.
Yes, Kevin. That's Casey's.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
No. So sand the shit out of both pieces of wood with like some 80 grit. Little bit of like 50-50 water to wood glue.
I blew my
I-
mind,
I-
bro.
Pre-drill the shit out of the wood with like a 4-inch by 4-inch grid. And if I do a really good job, I can have my CNC machine pre-drill the grid on both pieces, and also drill 2 or 4 dowel points with some 8mm dowels so that the parts will fit together perfectly. And
That
then
sounds
the
nice.
guys, it's like no brainer. They roll that shit on with a paint roller onto both sides. They put that shit together on the dowels.
So
They
you
fire
do
all the
something
screws in.
like
It's pre-drilled all the way through, and then pre-drilled for the screws to fire into the second layer. I don't
All
fuck
right.
around, man. I don't build
Well, yeah,
bullshit.
I mean that's 100%, like 500% more than I do. That's fucking crazy, but it's awesome. I really appreciate that.
I
you
have
do all
seen
that.
shit come apart.
Holy
I
shit!
have seen, my stack fab port assemblies that I make in my perfect fit boxes. I have seen where my technicians had built the box just a little bit fucky, and they stretched the like bottom panel of the box a little bit to land on the port backing panel, and that caused pressure to rip the laminate layers of the plywood apart.
Right.
So now the way that the port stacks go together, the screws and the glue hold this thing together all the way. So it'll if you take the fucking badass foaming wood glue that we use to build our port stacks together, right? If you were to take and just clamp the parts together in our port stacks, and then you broke our box apart, the likelihood that you would break it at our glue joint versus the laminate layers that the normal plywood come in is extremely high, that it would break the plywood apart rather than our glue joint.
That's crazy.
It's a stronger
That's
joint
awesome,
than
though.
the plywood itself.
Yeah. I mean,
And I know this for sure because I've been like, motherfucker, my customer's box broke. Why the fuck did this happen? And we're like studying it, and I'm like, look at that shit. And so now we use long enough screws that there is mechanical adhesion and support from the screws all the way through the stack fab layers.
But the glue holds it.
that's a lot, dude.
The guys that clamp a whole box together, I don't know. Maybe
They're
you
just
got
not
some
using
magical shit.
power.
They're not running any fucking
I don't
power.
know. I mean, I've pretty much have just drizzled glue and then used my Bondo spreader to make sure it's fully covered.
Mhm.
And anytime I've ever seen, or like when I took the build apart, it never broke at the glue joints. Anything that ripped, it was always the actual plywood that was ripping from its.
Well, here's the thing, Steve, is you were like, man, I don't want this shit to come apart, and you were busting your ass to make sure it was right.
Right.
You didn't
What
just lay down a couple
happens-
beads of glue and smack it
No,
together.
most people, will
just
just do
fucking
that.
send
They
it,
won't
and
even
like,
spread it.
blah,
Like,
blah. You know what I mean? Oh, this guy only paid me $400. You know what I mean? And that's,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, I mean,
That's what
I see a lot of
like,
people
I
that don't
guarantee
spread.
a lot of these guys that fuck these things up when they do a shitty laminate job, they probably do a pretty goddamn good laminate job more than half the time.
Right.
But 60% is you're a 40% failure. Fuck that shit. But
Right.
I don't know. I see it all the time. I see it. I've had customers call me up. I got this fucking crazy badass box. I paid a shitload of money for it. I got this double baffle. I clicked the little thing on the buying it on the website, and I paid the double baffle, and I got fucking 7 kerfs and blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
I got this box, and I can't figure out why it's leaking out the side of it over here. I'm like, where's it leaking from? It's like from the side of the baffle. And I go, you mounted your sub in the box and it pushed your 2 double baffle layers apart. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm like, I don't know. Pull your sub out of the box and
See
tell
if
me
there's
if
a
there's
gap.
a gap between your double baffle. And they're like, damn, how did you know that? I'm like, because people build shitty ass boxes all the fucking time because they don't get paid enough to have any fucking integrity. So
Yeah.
Speaking of
these
integrity,
those guys that make it easy for me and my team. It's like, oh, give a fuck about what you're working on. Bam. And people love you and
That's
they
a
tell
big
you
part
you're
of
a
it.
fucking hero. And I'm like, I
Just-
don't know, man. It
Just
seems
put
pretty
some pride into
no-brainer.
it, man.
if anybody
I
in
think what you
Ohio
said-
wants a 218s wall, let me know. I'm gonna own one tomorrow.
What do you got?
A 218 6-order wall I'm gonna own tomorrow. That I don't want to
Buying a
own.
car? No, just a box.
There's a long story behind it, but if somebody wants a 218s wall for a Tahoe, and you live in Ohio,
and they didn't pay, so you're building it for yourself.
Oh no, they paid.
Okay.
They paid.
Oh, is that shit pissing you off still, kid?
I don't know what's happening right now.
Okay.
No, that's irritating. No, that's irritating.
I gotta
It's-
go back.
Yeah, Steve got to pee now. Let
Uh,
me tell you what's up with me real quick. Okay. I have this really very awesome customer. He's an older gentleman and he's fucking rad, right? He's a super cool dude. Him and his wife are fucking amazing. And I've been communicating with him for, I don't know, 8 or 10 months. He has been saving his money for this build. He's got about a $5,000 budget in his F-150, and he's got one of our 4.8 boxes and a Sundown Salt 5-channel and Sundown subs and all new speakers and the whole thing. And we were using an LC6 to interface. Well, check this shit out. So my technicians, Colt and Tyson, and you know Colt and Tyson, they're fucking badass, and they take really good care of customer vehicles. Tyson looked up this whole instructions on taking the dash apart and interfacing with the factory radio and all this stuff in this 2014 Ford. And it says, be extremely careful. This module that controls this radio is super fragile, and there's all this instruction. Don't fuck this thing up. It'll break the volume knob and it won't work correctly and blah, blah, blah. So Tyson's like all super careful. He tells me, he's like, dude, I got to be super careful. And then he does it and he's super careful the whole time. Put the whole thing back together. Volume knob doesn't work anymore. Oof. The solution is I got to buy this customer a badass Maestro wire kit, mounting kit, and an aftermarket head unit. Customer's an older dude. He's got a lot of CDs. So I got to get this guy a badass Maestro compatible CD playing Android Auto head unit.
JVC.
I had to buy this customer a $900 head unit and $370 worth of mounting and wire kit. I'm kind of bummed, and I'm like, fuck.
Well, I have a $5,000 budget. You just spent $1,300.
That's right. But no.
Well,
no. It
Not
doesn't
him,
go into
you.
his budget.
I know.
Comes out of my ass.
That's what I'm saying.
He broke that shit. It's not his fault. It's my fucking fault.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't fuck up. We didn't fuck up. It's an 8-year-old truck. This shit was bound to happen at any point. I called one of my colleagues, my buddy Mike my buddy Mike owns a shop called Anthony's Car Stereo in Sacramento, and he's a really good dude, and he's a JL dealer. He's my local JL man, and I send a lot of customers his way because he's really close to me, and he's super cool. He sells some of our boxes and stuff, and I called up Mike, and I'm like, I got a 2014 Ford, and I'm dealing with this volume knob. He's like, the volume knob stopped working. Like, yeah. He's like, oh, we get them all the time. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, they just fail. I'm like, well, this motherfucker just failed when my customer, my tech took it apart and put it back together. He's like, oh, well, you own that shit. I'm like, I know. I'm aware. Help me out, brother. He's like, oh, you need this mounted kit, this wire kit. He knows it in his head. And I'm like, writing notes down. And I'm like, oh, great. This shit. And so anyway, yeah. Super duper fun.
So
I'm with you. I'm on the same shit as you.
This
is weekly shit, though, Drew.
That's not the problem. The problem is on my phone. I will read you what the problem is. This is the problem. I don't mind buying an enclosure from somebody because I fucked up in designing it. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's the first time it's ever happened. Ever.
Okay.
So it's fine. I get it. It's a part of business.
Yeah.
The issue is when I get a message Saturday that involves I'll read the last half of this message. I know for sure I didn't tell one fucking person that I wanted them inverted because I never inverted 17 in my life. And yeah, I hope it ruins your fucking business. You want to fuck me, then I don't give a fuck about you or your fucking kids. Obviously, you don't give a fuck about me or mine. You're fucking with my money.
That That's coming from
I
somebody
would
that
tell that guy to
doesn't
fuck
have enough
himself
money
and meet me
to be
wherever
buying
the
shit.
fuck I'd be like, I will meet you in the parking lot of the grocery store closest to your house, and I will fuck you
So
up.
all that was because so he messaged me just immediately angry because
This
it's
is a
like
box design or a whole box built.
so it got built. It's a wall that got built, slide-in wall. So he had told me the battery was 9 inches wide. I was like, all right, I can compensate for that. I know how big Tahoes are. Apparently, his Tahoe's special because it don't fit.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that's on me. So that's fine, and I wouldn't be so irritated about it because I would have still done
If
what
he
I'm
would have
doing.
been not a shit talking punk.
Well, let me ask you though, is why doesn't it fit?
I don't know. So this is the same dude a couple 2 months ago when it originally got built. It didn't slide in correctly. It was 48 wide, 34 tall, which is funny because Peyton Cole. I don't know if y'all know Peyton Cole. He's a local dude. Same year Tahoe, 48 wide, 36 tall, slid into his. We've talked about this truck because it had.
Oh, that's right, because he
Yep.
didn't take the little latch off the backs and decided he was going to cut metal before he took anything apart.
Yep, same guy. So now there's a depth issue. I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'll just buy the box. It's fine because I'll be able to resell it. Like it's good enough. Like if it was close enough, I'd put it in something. Like Ted built it, RTD, so it's pretty strong.
How much was the box?
I'm giving him $1,000, which is not for a 218s, 15, 13 ply Russian birch. Like it's solid. So I'd be less irritated if you didn't.
I mean, what's
Messing
fucked
me
up
with
is
that.
like obviously.
You know what? I bet
have
you
a
wouldn't even be
Tahoe, you
mad at
design
all.
these-
You've been like, no problem, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you.
Yeah.
I know you well enough. I'll tell you what, my customer, I called him up and I said, hey, we have this problem. And he was like, oh, man. He's like, I don't have. And I'm like, I was like, I'm in possession of your truck. I'm responsible for this volume, not failure. You're getting an incredible, significant upgrade. And he was like, you are fucking awesome. I'm like, dude, you know what?
But
You're
he just
really
assumed
cool,
that I
Alex. I
wasn't
know you've been
gonna
busting
do
your ass.
anything, I guess.
But
and
instead,
went
this
off.
guy talking shit, I'd be like, you know what, dude? I'll tell you what. I will bring your cash, your $1,000. You can own that fucking box. I'll hand you the cash, and then I'll put you on your fucking back. You're a bitch. You're a
It's
shit talking bitch.
See, and
Fuck
I
that.
considered driving to go get it, but it's so far. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll just have someone I know local go get it. I'll send them money. I'd be done with it. It's just not
Yeah.
worth it. Like I said, it's the first
sucks,
time
though,
I've ever had an issue like this. So
Yeah.
I mean, in your situation, Drew, like you can't make that dude happy now.
No,
Even
there's
if you
nothing.
go
There's
get the
nothing
$1,000
I can
bucks, you
do.
can
So
whatever. He ain't gonna be happy.
So
He's still
and
gonna
then
talk
it gets.
shit.
I guess the
Okay.
main reason I'm irritated was today we were in a group chat, me, him, and the box builder, trying to figure out a solution, right? And he's like, "Oh, well, y'all could just, I said, look, we build you a new box that fits, not a problem. The measurements he gave us six order won't work. So I said, hey, 6 orders going to work in here. He's like, okay, well, he's like, I can move the battery. We could just do it bigger. I'm like, well, I'm not really down to build a bigger box if you're willing to move the battery. You can just use the one you already have. And he's like, well, I don't want to do that. I was like, okay,
What?
I got you.
What the
That
fuck?
makes no fucking
That is-
sense, dude.
That is
That makes
absurd.
that almost
You know
tells
what
me
you
like,
do?
like he just
You're
wants
like,
the money to
yes,
get shit fixed.
absolutely. And then he shows up to pick up the new box, and it's that box. Here it goes right in.
So
That's what you should do.
kind of. So I said, all right. So if we built the exact same box, just fixed this couple of issues he was talking about, you'd be good. He's like, oh yeah. So does I want you to use that one? Well, I don't want that.
That's fucking weird.
So that's when I was like, look, I don't.
That's
I was super
I want to be a
irritated.
punk, and then I want to be a
Yeah.
punk. Fuck, dude, tell that guy to fuck himself.
I want to, but I'd rather just take care of it, be the bigger person, and be done with it. That way, I don't gotta think about it
Right.
after
But
tomorrow.
it just
Right.
he's,
You know what I
if
mean?
he's
Like,
gonna
I
end up
should have been nice to
taking
that
that,
guy, but I don't know, man. It's kind of extra whack on his end. If he can move his battery, you're like, dude, I'll pay you extra to help you move your bat. I don't even.
Dude, no, that's what I said.
Battery in the box.
Dude, I said, look, you already mentioned said you're willing to move the battery. So what if I had someone like Gately build you a badass amp rack and battery rack on where you're gonna have it? Like,
Yeah,
that'd be
You know,
sweet. I
I
said
like
that
to
way
make-
we don't have to deal with all this shit.
I like to
Yeah.
make things
That's
better for our mistake or our misjudgment or our
Exactly.
error. That's where we get. I mean, you're already going to lose. So if I can do something extra
Yep.
fucking awesome, if I'm already going out of my way, I might as well go the extra mile
Yeah, and that's
and
what
make
I
it
said. So
outstanding. But you know what? I don't know, man. When people start acting like a fucking shit talking
Yep.
asshole, I
and
get
like
like,
so even after he talked all that shit,
I might refund a motherfucker every penny they paid me. And he paid you
Well,
for a box design.
yeah, he didn't
Here's
pay
your
me for the
fucking
box.
design
He paid
back.
someone else.
yeah, it's that thing like when you have one bad cut or one negative review or negative experience, that person is more likely to say something or tell people about it versus the thousands of people that have positive experiences. So yeah, when you
I
have
don't
a
know.
negative shit,
That's
no,
also
it's true, dude.
something that comes back to choosing your customers correctly. Because I have a lot of fucking customers that paid me a lot of money and are fucking incredible. And they are advocates out there being like, Gately Audio, they're
Well,
the
yeah. But what I'm
way.
saying is,
Fucking
like, if
Bobby
you
is
would
the
have
man. He's going to take good care of you. The whole team, Colt and Allison
right,
and Brett and
because you did,
Tyson and
though, because you
fucking
did
the
that
whole
stuff.
team. Anthony,
Mhm.
these guys are amazing. They're the fucking best. And that's
100%. But what I'm saying is, when you have that one guy that isn't happy, he runs his mouth to
Yeah, I mean,
everybody,
and in
anybody
the
that will
message
listen.
Saturday, he literally said, he's like, I'll post on every page every day. I hope
It's
it'll
just
run you
part-
out of
I don't-
business. I'm like,
It's very. There's just a
I'm like, you won't
mentality,
for one,
human
but
mentality, dude. Being negative versus positive.
yeah,
You want to tell everybody you know to stay away from motherfuckers more than you want to tell somebody
yeah.
this is the dude you need to use.
So
I
and
mean,
trust me, I everything in me wanted to tell him to kick rocks, especially Saturday, because I was trying to enjoy the day with Brandy and doing some stuff, and it fucked it up, and it really irritated me. So
yeah.
but yeah, no. So I
well,
said,
buddy.
hey, look,
I'm super sorry you're experiencing
no,
that, and it sucks, and it's
fine.
bound to happen here.
I know.
Or there,
That's what I'm saying.
you know,
If it's the first time in 4 or 5 years that
Forever.
I have to deal with it, it's fine.
and
Yeah.
this is that shit where it makes me scared. I sold a box design the other day. He was like, I got your subs. It's a truck box. It's going in a standard cab. I want it to look kind of like this. And I was like, oh, I really am the right guy to design this box.
Mhm.
And I was like, it's going to be kind of a motherfucker. It's a wedge. He wants a T shape, like with a stack fab port that he wants to do. I was like, it's 4 of my 8s. I'm like, there really is nobody that knows this shit like me. I should do it. And I charge him significant money because it's going to take, quite a bit of work to do this. I'm like, oh God, what if it goes wrong? He's a great customer of mine. He buys a ton of shit and he buys boxes and he's like, but you don't build a box that's for my old ass truck. So I'm building it myself. And I'm like, what if I fuck up his box design and he's mad at me?
There's no
Or
way
what
you're gonna
if
fuck
I
it up.
design it in a way and he doesn't understand my design and he fucks it up and then I look like an asshole? Or what if it sounds bad? Or, and I told that story about the Hunter designed box in the guy's
Mhm.
Tahoe.
Yeah, the dude just built it wrong. No, I mean, so I've done
fucking wrong.
over, according to the 7,743 designs. It is.
That's
It's
how many
really?
designs you've done?
Yep. Well, and more, because this is just how many is on this computer. I've done more that aren't
Fuck,
in that
dude.
folder.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. No, it's a lot, dude. So I mean, for just to be the first one,
How many do you do a day?
you don't want to know.
Like 10?
So
No,
do you
no.
ever,
I just don't
not
ever take a
10?
day off.
have you ever thought about cataloging your stuff and selling just pre-designed stuff?
I thought about it far too recently. I'll put it that way.
I would totally build a catalog for specific
But
people to sell
I've started
design.
working on it. So like
Yeah, I
things that
mean,
are
like,
super
if you have
duper common.
7,000 plus designs, how many of them are for Tahoes? Just period.
That's
Or
and
just
that,
break
that-
them
that's
down
my
to
issue.
how
That's
they're
one of my issues with this dude is that I know how big Tahoes are.
Yeah, 7,000.
I
designs.
own them. I have Tahoes.
Yeah, I know.
I know how big they are.
Yeah,
So
fuck that guy.
Fuckers
Tell that
change.
guy to fuck that.
I
Be
know.
like, I changed my mind. Tell him to call me.
Fuck
I'll
them.
talk to
No.
him.
I'm gonna take care of it. My buddy's going to pick up the box tomorrow, I think. I'll send that dude his little $1,000 that he's upset about, and
What you
I'll-
should do, Drew, is take
I
a
won't
picture
have to
of
think
it
about it
in a
again.
Tahoe.
I will.
Take a
Oh
picture
no.
in the
Oh,
state
No,
of
no.
Tahoe.
Who has a fucking Tahoe in Ohio?
Who wants a free box?
I will pay you to slide that fucking box into that truck
Yeah.
and then
Oh, yeah.
take it back out and drop it on the ground in front of that dude and tell him to suck a dick.
no, hold on
Or
now.
no.
Hold on now. It's a
This is
nice
what I would
box.
do.
I thought about putting it in my living room. Chill out. Hold on. I
Find
thought about
somebody-
getting a nice piece of plexi from you, all CNC'd out. It'd be real hot. It's
I
a
would
really
just
nice
find
box. It
somebody-
really is.
Find someone in his
Fuck.
town that you could give it to so that he could go and shit on the dude.
It'd be
His
funny.
box.
I'm gonna figure something out. And like I said, just that whole thing's just been eating at me for the last since Saturday. And today we were talking about it again in that group chat. And it's like, dude, and that's whenever he said
I don't want it if it fits now.
basically he's like, oh, I would move the battery if y'all built a bigger box. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then that's when I offered to pay you or some like I said, get
Build him a
Bobby
badass
or
amp
LAF to build a badass battery rack for you. And this is
Right.
all after he went wild in my DMs.
Yeah, the wild in the DMs talking shit is
Yeah.
like
I know,
that's
Trust
a
me.
lot, dude.
It is.
That's a lot. I
but
don't-
it'll be better for my soul and be better for my heart and just my mind if I just get it done and stop thinking about it.
Oh yeah, it's always
It's
better.
worth $1,000 to not ever talk to him again.
Well, it also will just give you the fucking high road. I mean, like you.
I
did
am
what you
posting
were
the
supposed
entire
to do.
conversation along with fixing the issue. I am gonna post my high road for the first time in a long time because fuck this
So
guy.
you know when Drew's serious, he gets really close to the mic.
That's right. That's right. I want to whisper it so Brandy can't yell at me for being an asshole. Because
All right, boys, let's cut her loose. We somehow squeezed another 30 minutes in there.
I mean, it's
We got
a
fucking phone
subject.
calls.
it
we
is.
could see that Drew was a little grumpy, and we
It just took
popped
him 2
him.
hours to get it out of him, but we got it.
I'm gonna go. Well, I was trying to not bring it up on live until the deal was done, but
It's all good. All right,
Make
so
it
next
happen.
week,
Take care of the dude. You know what I mean? And sometimes in the wake of something, when somebody's like a super raging dick, and then they get like what they were asking for, and you're like, this would have been a lot easier and better if you weren't such a shit talking little bitch. And then maybe the next time they have an opportunity, they'll be like,
see, it's hard.
maybe
for me,
I should try not to be a little bitch this time. I got lucky last time.
and
Right.
I'm letting it irritate me a little bit, but it's easy to let things like this take control, and I kind of did today. But like I have awesome experiences with so many people that I can't let that be the focus. Like yesterday, that shop giving me a Tweak 88 for tuning that thing I was going to do for free. They're just being awesome. It gave me a $600 DSP. Like, that's fucking sweet, dude.
That's full, brother. It could always be worse. 100%.
No, that's it. I mean, the fact that I can afford to pay him and not, stress about it that much.
That's a lot. I don't see paying out. I see refunding for the services, if anything, but
So that money
it's
is
not like
actually less
you're
than
like,
what he was
dude,
charged
this
for
is
the
a
wall.
box that fits in a Tahoe.
Yeah, I mean, I get if you want to pay for materials or whatever, I get it.
That is less than that apparently than what the materials cost too. I asked. Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, it's
But
not.
For the build and a builder to build it, okay,
Okay,
but not for
my
the material.
my
No.
sheets of 1.5 inch Russian Baltic birch plywood are $194. Okay,
Yeah. This is.
That's a 4x8.
I
or
cut
5x5?
up 4 sheets and I have more than half sheets left over because of the way that the parts broke down for Casey's box for 221s. So even if you said all 4 sheets were
So, yeah,
$800,
Yeah, and
of
he didn't do that.
inch and a
eventually.
half.
So he said that the builder said he paid like $160 a sheet for the 13 ply 3/4 where he's at in the middle of BFE, and there was 6 sheets in the design. It's about $1,000 plus plexi.
That's $900.
Yeah, plus plexi.
Yeah, whatever. I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess.
I did some math and told him I was like, you know what, whatever.
Yeah, like luckily being in Vegas, we have major lumber suppliers, and
Yeah.
I mean a 3/4 inch sheet of birch is still well under $100 here. So I mean it was $38 2 years ago. I think it's like $65 now. It's still not It's still
Yeah, the
it's
pricing
crazy.
went from
Yeah.
outrageous to more reasonable real
Mhm.
fast a couple of months ago.
Nah, and
Yeah.
it'll be all right.
You know,
It'll all be good.
$1,000 for $1,000 of material assembled, and you got yourself a big badass box. What sub configuration is it?
218s, 6 order.
That's a pretty big box then.
It is, no, it's big. It's thick.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. It is big.
7
Oh.
sheets.
That's probably right. I mean, double layer most
Yeah,
of
be
it.
double layer.
Fucking 12 cube
Double
box.
layer, everything. Well, triple baffle, triple front wall, double
Yeah,
everything else.
that's
Yeah, I mean, the material build makes sense.
Yeah,
So I mean,
Yeah.
and,
it does.
Yeah,
It
and
pans out.
so at first,
That's
he
a lot.
wanted, all $1,400 he paid for the box, and then I think
Wait a
he
fuck,
realized that
who's
he.
building boxes for $1,400 that has 900 or 1,000 in material?
Oh, buddy, it's worse than that. His labor was not enough. I already told him. I was like, you didn't charge enough. But
It's all relative of where you live, man.
no, yeah, for sure. But
100%.
so the dude originally, like I said,
It is, Bobby.
complete asshole on Saturday, and I think he realized that he was being a bit of a dick. He was like, "Hey, I tell you what, I'll just take 1,000 for it, and we'll just call it good." I'm like, "All right, bro, sounds good."
Well, you know what? A really good example of that, Ray Pimley explained it to me the other day, is at I think it was at Surf. I might be wrong. There was a guy going fucking ballistic. He was like screaming in Ray's face. And right in the middle of it, the dude stopped and was like, wait a fucking minute. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be doing this. I apologize. I'm going to get my shit together.
I mean,
Backed off and chilled out. And I was like, I don't know who that dude is, but I fucking love him.
Mhm.
Because it's one thing to start to lose your shit, but to be right in the middle of it and stop and be like, nah, I'm going to get my shit together right now. That's really challenging
and
for people to
100%.
do.
this dude
And
didn't.
it's super commendable. So if the dude starts to be like, hey man, my bad. I don't want to be that fucking guy.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
gonna
and that's
keep my
kind of how
shit
he was today.
together."
He was like more chill, and then he even apologized. He was like, he apologized Saturday, but today he was like, he's like, I shouldn't have acted like that. That's why, I just, I'm taking such a big hit on the box too, because that way it's not just on you. I'm like, all right, man.
Well, that's not so bad. Then
I
man,
know.
you got to present that shit. I'm over here ready to fucking kill this guy
Oh
myself.
no, you still can. No, when I send you the messages, you'll still want to. No,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I, you know what I mean? It's tough to read them again. Don't do that shit.
I know.
But
I need to delete them from my phone. That way I don't.
yeah,
as soon as
that
this
way
is
you're not
done,
like reviewing. And
as soon as this is over, I'm deleting everything. I'm blocking them. It's just I'm never thinking about it again. I might just tell the
It's
person
just
who's
that,
picking it up, just sell it. And if you sell it for anything, more, send me money.
yeah, I
Just
don't
let me know.
Heat of the moment. Yeah. All right, boys. Well,
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go
I will,
do some speaker testing. I'm gonna go pull parameters on stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
Gentlemen,
grind
have
my
a great
well.
night. I fucking love you guys. Everybody else, be nice to people. Don't flip out
Be
like I
nice.
just did. Now I feel bad about being like, fuck that guy.
No.
He's dead
Fuck that
sorry.
guy. No. Absolutely no. Because he said he was willing to move the battery only if we built him a new, bigger and better box. He literally said that.
It's not like it's going to be fucking better. It's a fucking badass
I- I
box.
He just doesn't want to have to do anything to get the box in that he paid for. Is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, which is
And
fine.
since he has to make any
fine.
changes, he's like, "Fuck it. If I got to move my battery, I want a new box." I mean, I
What does he have?
kinda
His
see-
seat like laid back hella far or something? I
It's a
mean,
C-pillar wall. So, I mean, I get it, I guess.
it's a C pillar wall.
Yeah, 48 by 36. Yeah, I mean,
48 wide, 32, 34. It's pulled up.
yeah.
32 and a half, 34 tall. It's just, no.
All right, well,
it-
before we start getting another 30-minute conversation.
Yeah.
about this,
Anyway,
let's-
guys,
I'm
it's-
over here like, I can't imagine any version of a C pillar wall in a Tahoe that would be louder than a no wall.
he wanted a 6 order. Well, he wanted a 4th order, but team resilient sound subs don't go in 4th orders. If you want the cones to stay in one piece.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So, fellas,
let's cut it. I'm going to eat dinner.
I'm going to go find some White Claw.
Namaste. I will see you guys fucking.
See
I'll
you
talk
guys
to
all
after
next
tomorrow.
week.
See you next
Later.
week.
Good.
Later, boys.
Later.